Chapter 2179. Hearing Mo Qingyun's question, Qian Linglong raised her hand and pointed to the sky. Everything was understood without words. Following the direction of Qian Linglong's finger, Mo Qingyun saw the outer world continent and understood the reason for the phenomenon. It turned out that the appearance of the phenomenon was not because of a rare treasure, but because of the outer world's inheritance. Seeing that Mo Qingyun understood, Qian Linglong's pretty face turned serious. She asked, Qingyun, recently, many experts from other clans have come to China City and the main clan. They have already gone to the land of heritage. Should we follow them now? The outer world's inheritance? Looking at the land of heritage in midair, Mo Qingyun's expression changed. His eyes flashed with fanaticism. He said, since it's the outer world's inheritance, there might be a cultivation technique from the outer world inside. If we can find the cultivation technique from the outer world, we will have the real method to condense the Saint Power Star cluster. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Qian Linglong and the other two became excited. They knew very well that although Mo Qingyun could condense the Saint Power Star cluster, it was not the most orthodox method. Mo Qingyun just took a different path. Moreover, Mo Qingyun helped people condense the Saint Power Star cluster, but there was a huge limitation. He could not condense the Saint Power Star cluster for too many people. If they could find the cultivation technique from the outer world, then the situation would be completely different. Come, let's follow them. After saying his thoughts, Mo Qingyun did not want to waste any time and immediately flew to the land of heritage. Seeing Mo Qingyun's actions, Han Liu had a worried expression. He said, Master, you've exhausted too much of your mind. Why don't you enter my demon god pagoda to cultivate first? When your mind recovers, we can explore the land of heritage together. All right. Hearing Han Liu's suggestion, Mo Qingyun did not hesitate and immediately nodded in agreement. His mind was too tired now. Forcing himself to enter the land of heritage to explore was not a long-term plan. Rather than forcing himself to endure like this, it was better to regulate his breathing and recover first, then explore wholeheartedly. Seeing that Mo Qingyun had agreed, Han Liu no longer hesitated and immediately took out a small green tower. On the small pagoda, there were pictures of demonic beasts that emitted different auras. From the looks of it, the Fey God Pagoda in his possession was no ordinary treasure. If you encounter any danger, immediately send word to me. Do not recklessly fight with others. Upon seeing Han Liu conjure the Fey God Pagoda, Mo Qingyun exhorted the rest before entering the Fey God Pagoda. Mistress, let's go. Seeing Mo Qingyun enter the Fey God Pagoda, Han Liu requested permission from Qian Linglong and set off for the land of heritage. Although the heritage continent didn't seem far, it was still very far away from the wasteland continent. With the strength of Qian Linglong and the other two, it took them 2 full days to reach the heritage land. When Qian Linglong and the other two arrived at the land of inheritance, they realized that there was a layer of terrifying flames surrounding the land of inheritance. This is the fire of civilization. Seeing the layer of flames, Qian Linglong and the others were shocked as they recognized the flames. As Mo Qingyun often used the fire of civilization to fight, they were very familiar with the fire of civilization. Of course, the fire of civilization surrounding the land of heritage was much more powerful than Mo Qingyun's. It was because of this that many Outer Realm experts couldn't come to the Wasteland continent. It was also because of this that 99% of the experts on the Wasteland continent couldn't leave the Wasteland continent. So there is a layer of fire of civilization barrier in the sky above the Wasteland continent. The defense of this fire of civilization barrier is too terrifying. It actually blocked the land of heritage from the Outer Realm. Fortunately, the fire of civilization barrier is there. Otherwise, the 1,000 illusions would have been destroyed by the land of heritage. Not only would the 1,000 illusions be destroyed, but everyone in the 1,000 illusions would be smashed into pieces by the land of heritage. Looking at the scene in front of them, the surrounding people were shocked and couldn't help but feel scared. Everyone talked to each other and began to observe the land of heritage, looking for a place to enter. Under their observation, they found that the fire of civilization around a corner of the land of heritage was the weakest. After discovering this, they no longer hesitated and flew towards that corner together. When everyone flew towards the corner of the entrance, Qian Linglong and the other two didn't hesitate and flew towards the corner of the entrance. When Qian Linglong and the other two arrived at the corner of the entrance, Zi Yunxiao and the others also arrived and appeared not far from them. Zi Yunxiao. Looking at Zi Yunxiao in front of her, Qian Linglong's face immediately turned ugly and emitted a strong murderous intent. Although she was very angry, Qian Linglong didn't attack immediately. She thought about Mo Qingyun's previous instructions. She knew very well that without Mo Qingyun's help, they might not be a match for Zi Yunxiao and the others. It wasn't a wise choice to act rashly. Qian Linglong, I didn't expect you guys to come too. Sensing Qian Linglong's cold gaze, Zi Yunxiao turned his head and looked over. A sinister smile appeared at the corners of his lips as he said, "Why don't I see Mo Qingyun? Did he stay in Qin a manner to set up a trap and wait for us to deliver ourselves to him?" Hearing Zi Yunxiao's words, Qian Linglong and the others were stunned. They didn't understand what he meant. They didn't understand why Zi Yunxiao would think that Mo Qingyun was setting a trap for them. Although Qian Linglong didn't understand Zi Yunxiao's thoughts, she didn't explain and only smiled meaningfully. Seeing that Qian Linglong was silent, Zi Yunxiao thought that she had tacitly agreed and was even more certain of his thoughts. He said proudly, "Go back and tell Mo Qingyun that he's setting a trap for me. I'm afraid he'll be disappointed. I'm not in the mood to care about him right now. I want to enter the outside world continent and look for the inheritance left behind by the outside world experts." After Zi Yunxiao said that, he ignored Qian Linglong and immediately flew towards the outside world continent. Qian Linglong didn't say anything about Zi Yunxiao's actions. She also wanted to fly towards the outside world continent. Soon, Qian Linglong and the others entered the outside world continent and saw a vast land. When Qian Linglong and the others looked around, they discovered that the outside world continent wasn't very big. It was only about the same size as the main clan of the 1,000 illusions. "I didn't expect you guys to dare to follow me. In that case, I won't be polite." Seeing that Qian Linglong and the others had also entered, Zi Yunxiao's gaze turned cold, and he immediately approached Qian Linglong and the others. When Qian Linglong and the others saw that Zi Yunxiao and the others were attacking, they frowned and quickly exchanged glances. Soon, they knew what Zi Yunxiao and the others were thinking. They didn't want to fight with Zi Yunxiao and the others for the time being. Our main mission here is to find the cultivation technique of the outside world. Don't waste time on Zi Yunxiao, Qian Linglong said to the two of them before she turned around and left. She didn't want to be entangled with Zi Yunxiao and the others. Chapter 2180. Chase. Seeing that Qian Linglong and the other two were about to escape, Zi Yunxiao's face darkened, and he immediately urged Xiao Xiong and the rest. As soon as Zi Yunxiao finished his words, his figure flashed, and he took the lead to chase after Qian Linglong and the other two. Seeing Zi Yunxiao's actions, Xiao Xiong and the rest did not hesitate and quickly followed behind Zi Yunxiao. Then, Qian Linglong and the other two and Zi Yunxiao's group formed a situation where one ran and the other chased. "Mistress, Zi Yunxiao and the rest don't seem to be that strong." While Qian Linglong and the other two were escaping, Han Liu had a surprised expression on his face. He realized that something was wrong and said, "Among Zi Yunxiao and the others, it seems that only Zi Yunxiao and Xiao Xiong have condensed the Saint Power Star Cluster. With our strength, it is not difficult to deal with them." That seems to be the case. Other than Zi Yunxiao and Xiao Xiong, the rest of the Saint Power fluctuations are very weak. Hearing Han Liu's words, King Devourer quickly sensed it and was surprised. With King Devourer and Xiao Xiong's reminder, Qian Linglong also sensed it and realized that it was true. It seems that Xiao Xiong only told Zi Yunxiao about the method of condensing the Saint Power Star Cluster. Noticing the situation of Ziyun Xiao and the rest, Qin Linglong guessed a possibility and hesitated. Seeing her enemies in front of her, it was impossible for her not to have thoughts of revenge. However, Mo Qingyun had told them not to fight with others rashly and to wait for Mo Qingyun to recover. Devourer, communicate with Qingyun and ask him what his decision is. Qin Linglong struggled in her heart, but did not fight back rashly. She decided to ask Mo Qingyun for his opinion first. Hearing Qin Linglong's instructions, King Devourer responded and communicated with Mo Qingyun through their souls. After a short while, after listening to Mo Qingyun's instructions, the sky-devouring mermaid queen smiled evilly. She said, "Mistress, Master wants us to pretend to be weak first and act as if we are no match for them. We will confuse Ziyun Xiao and the others. When Master recovers, we will kill them all in one go." Hearing Mo Qingyun's idea from King Devourer, Qin Linglong's eyes lit up. She had to admit that Mo Qingyun's suggestion was good. It was a good plan. This way, they could lure the enemy in and make Xiao and the rest underestimate them and completely cut off their escape route. If that's the case, we'll stall them. After receiving Mo Qingyun's instructions, Qin Linglong no longer hesitated and continued to flee with the heaven-devouring mermaid queen. Just as Mo Qingyun had guessed, Ziyun Xiao was even more disdainful of Qin Linglong and the other two when he saw them running away. "Humph, you won't be able to escape." Looking at Qin Linglong and the other two in front of him, Ziyun Xiao revealed a sinister expression. With a complacent sneer, he said, "Don't worry. After I kill you all, I will have Mo Qingyun accompany you." In Ziyun Xiao's eyes, Qin Linglong and the rest were already prey. It was only a matter of time before he killed them. When Qin Linglong and the others heard Ziyun Xiao's words, they immediately smiled evilly. It was hard to say who was the prey when the time came. For the rest of the time, the two sides chased and fled like this. This situation lasted for 2 days. Seeing that he could not catch up to Qin Linglong and the other two, Ziyun Xiao became impatient and did not continue to chase after them. "Saint Yin Xiao, why did you stop?" Seeing Ziyun Xiao stop, Chao Xiong was puzzled and immediately asked him. Ziyun Xiao's expression became serious when he heard Chao Xiong's question. He said, "Brother Chao, have you not discovered that with Qin Linglong and the others' flying speed, they could have completely shaken us off? However, they did not do so. Isn't that extremely strange?" That's really the case. With Ziyun Xiao's reminder, Brother Chao suddenly realized that the situation seemed to be true. He guessed, "Saint Yin Xiao, do you mean that Qin Linglong and the rest are doing this to lure the enemy in and scheme against us?" "I can't guarantee that, but there's definitely a trap." Ziyun Xiao's expression was serious as he replied to Brother Chao. He then said, "Just in case, I've decided to temporarily give up on chasing after them and search for treasures in the land of inheritance." "That's good too." Hearing Ziyun Xiao's suggestion, Chao Xiong immediately nodded in agreement. If not for the lack of an excuse, he would have already given up chasing and searched for treasures in the land of inheritance. After agreeing to Ziyun Xiao's suggestion, Chao Xiong no longer hid his thoughts. He said, "Saint Yun Xiao, the land of inheritance is very big. In order to maximize the benefits, I think it's better for us to act separately. No matter what the final harvest is, we'll gather here in a month." Okay. Ziyun Xiao did not object to Chao Xiong's suggestion and immediately nodded in agreement. He was also worried that if he acted together with Chao Xiong and obtained some treasures, he wouldn't be able to share them with Chao Xiong. Ziyun Xiao and Ziyun Xiao came to an agreement. They would split up and search for treasures in the land of inheritance alone. As Ziyun Xiao and the rest went to search for treasures, Qin Linglong and the rest felt that something was wrong. They realized that Ziyun Xiao and the rest did not chase after them. "Mistress, Ziyun Xiao and the rest did not chase after us. Master's plan seems to have failed." Seeing that Ziyun Xiao and the rest did not chase after them, Han Liu frowned and his expression became serious. This sudden change caught him off guard. This was something he had not expected. Hearing Han Liu's words, Qin Linglong's face also tensed up. She did not know what to do. While Qian Linglong and the rest were at a loss, Mo Qingyun sent a voice transmission to Han Liu, telling him that he had finished meditating. Mistress, Master's cultivation has ended. After receiving Mo Qingyun's voice transmission, Han Liu's expression immediately brightened. It was as if he had found his pillar of support. Hearing Han Liu's words, Qian Linglong and Qian Linglong's expressions also brightened. Following that, Mo Qingyun appeared before them and asked about the current situation. Under Mo Qingyun's questioning, Qian Linglong explained the situation and asked, Qingyun, Ziyun Xiao and the rest have given up on pursuing us. What should we do now? Give up on pursuing us? Knowing Ziyun Xiao's actions, Mo Qingyun was a little surprised. He immediately raised his opinion of Ziyun Xiao and said, This Ziyun Xiao is very cautious. He is indeed a difficult person to deal with. We can't underestimate him at all. Mo Qingyun muttered to himself. He revealed a pondering expression as he considered the next step of the plan. Soon, Mo Qingyun knew what to do. He began to explain to Qian Linglong and the rest. Ziyun Xiao and the rest cannot escape. Since the previous plan has failed, let's search the Outer Realm continent and find the Outer Realm's cultivation method first. Chapter 2181. Seeing Mo Qingyun fly forward, Qian Linglong and the other two quickly followed and flew into the depths of the land of inheritance. Perhaps because they were unable to kill Ziyun Xiao, Qian Linglong's mood became somewhat heavy. Seeing Qian Linglong's expression, Mo Qingyun immediately guessed her thoughts and comforted her. Although my plan failed, it was not completely useless. If I'm not wrong, Ziyun Xiao and the others have already subconsciously started to look down on us. Hearing Mo Qingyun's analysis, Qian Linglong nodded her head. She could not deny this point. Previously, when I asked you to run for your lives and not fight with Ziyun Xiao and the others, the main reason was because of this. After explaining his previous thoughts, Mo Qingyun's face revealed a faint smile and said, Since we have achieved our goal, this unforeseen event that happened in the middle only allowed Ziyun Xiao and the others to live a little longer. It cannot change their fate. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the knot in Qian Linglong's heart was untied and a smile appeared on her face once again. Following this, Mo Qingyun and the others hurried on as they discussed their future plans. After a few hours, Mo Qingyun and the others hurried along the way and arrived in front of an ancient castle. They saw many demonic beasts carved on the walls. These demonic beasts were very strange. Even with Mo Qingyun and the others' experience, they could not recognize a few of them. Seeing this situation, Mo Qingyun immediately became excited and was filled with curiosity about this ancient castle. Let's go in. After informing Qian Linglong and the others, Mo Qingyun did not hesitate and immediately walked into the ancient castle. After walking into the ancient castle, a dense aura of vicissitudes rushed towards Mo Qingyun and the others. The tables and chairs in the ancient castle had all been weathered due to the passage of time. The interior of the ancient castle wasn't big, so it was possible to see everything with a single glance. The entire ancient castle was very clean and there were no traces of fighting. It made one wonder why it had declined. Looks like this is an abandoned ancient castle. There is nothing valuable here. Qian Linglong looked disappointed as she scanned the entire castle. She couldn't help but sigh. While Qian Linglong was sighing, Mo Qingyun's expression changed. His gaze fell on a corner of the hall. He could clearly feel that there was a trace of formation energy remaining on an oil lamp in the corner. Although the fluctuations of this array power were very weak, it gave Mo Qingyun an extremely important warning. This seemingly simple oil lamp could be a part of an array formation. In other words, there used to be an ancient formation in this abandoned castle. When Mo Qingyun thought of this, he walked towards the oil lamp and observed it carefully. Seeing Mo Qingyun's actions, Qian Linglong and the others quickly followed him and looked at the oil lamp. However, they did not understand array formations. Therefore, they were unable to sense the faint fluctuations of array power from the oil lamp. Although they did not understand what Mo Qingyun was doing, Qianling Long and the others did not disturb him. They just stood silently by the side. Subsequently, Mo Qingyun carefully observed the oil lamp under the gaze of Qianling Long and the others. About 15 minutes later, Mo Qingyun, who had been observing the oil lamp, smiled and immediately waved his hands. As Mo Qingyun waved his hands, sacred inscriptions with astonishing array power appeared in front of everyone. When these sacred inscriptions appeared, they flew into the oil lamp and spread out with the oil lamp as the center. Gradually, the embryonic form of an array formation appeared in front of Qianling Long and the others. When they saw this scene, Qianling Long and the others were shocked. They found it hard to believe. At this moment, no matter how stupid they were, they could tell that the oil lamp was not simple. When they realized that the oil lamp was not simple, Qianling Long and the others immediately retreated so that Mo Qingyun could repair the array formation better. The rest of the time passed slowly. As he did not know what the original array formation was, Mo Qingyun could only try to restore the array formation in the ancient castle to its original state. In the blink of an eye, 3 days had passed. Under Mo Qingyun's tireless attempts, he finally repaired the array formation and restored it to its original state. Disperse. Mo Qingyun quickly formed a hand seal and struck it into the array formation to remove it. As the array formation was removed, the scene in the main hall began to change and slowly revealed its original appearance. Broken skeletons slowly appeared in front of Mo Qingyun and the others. All kinds of broken weapons were scattered all around them. When they saw this scene, Qianling Long and the others were stunned. They could not believe what they had seen. They did not expect the real situation in the ancient castle to be like this. There was actually a fierce battle here. Judging from these skeletons, it should be a battle between many tribes. Looking at the skeletons of different sizes on the ground, Mo Qingyun could imagine the situation of the battle at that time. After discovering this situation, Mo Qingyun's curiosity about the ancient castle immediately became stronger. Mo Qingyun muttered to himself. He walked toward the chair in the main hall and poured his immortal spiritual energy into it. Boom, boom, boom. As the immortal spiritual energy was poured into the chair shook and slowly started to turn. When the chair started to turn, a hidden secret passage appeared in front of Mo Qingyun and the others. Seeing the secret passage in front of them, Mo Qingyun flipped his palm and condensed a ball of flame in his palm. Then, Mo Qingyun used the ball of flame to walk into the secret passage. Seeing Mo Qingyun enter the secret passage, Qianling Long and the others quickly followed and entered the secret passage. After a while, Mo Qingyun and the others arrived at the end of the secret passage and saw a scene that shocked them. At the end of the secret passage was a huge stone room, sealed with all kinds of powerful corpses. At a glance, these sealed corpses were exactly the same as the pictures on the walls of the ancient castle. The corpses sealed here and the skeletons in the main hall seemed to match many of the skeletons sealed here. Thinking of the skeletons in the main hall, Mo Qingyun found a key point and roughly guessed the reason for the battle. It must be that the owner of the ancient castle had captured the people of the same tribe, causing them to come and seek revenge. Mo Qingyun quickly thought about it and looked at another place. He found a huge altar. When Mo Qingyun saw the altar, his body immediately shook and his face was filled with shock. This is the blood-changing altar. Looking at the altar in front of him, Mo Qingyun couldn't help but recall the blood-changing altar in Kokuin's cave, abode number 9 at the Demon River. Although the blood-changing altar was not as big and powerful as this one, the structure of the two was exactly the same. After discovering this, Mo Qingyun was greatly alarmed. He thought of a terrifying situation. Chapter 2182. Qingyun, do you know the function of that altar? Qianling Long was shocked when she saw Mo Qingyun's reaction. She immediately asked him. Mo Qingyun's expression turned serious when he heard Qianling Long's question. He nodded and said, "If I'm not wrong, The function of this altar should be the same as the dark demon race's blood-changing altar. It's for transplanting and changing the bloodline in the body. Qianling Long and the others' expressions changed when they heard Mo Qingyun's words. They were shocked by his words. Could it be that the dark demon race also existed in the other planes outside the realm? You're right. The dark demon race definitely exists in the other planes outside the realm. Mo Qingyun nodded when he saw Qianling Long and the others' reactions. He confirmed their thoughts and said, "If I'm not wrong, the dark demon race on the wild continent might have escaped from the outer realm." Qianling Long and the others were stunned when they heard Mo Qingyun's analysis. Then they understood. It seemed that the dark demon race on the outer realm was attacked by the outer realm's various races. If a race like the dark demon race is allowed to grow, the other races will become their vassals. I don't think they can be considered vassals. They can only be regarded as cultivation resources. Based on the current situation, the dark demon race in the outer realm should have been exterminated. Qianling Long and the others relaxed when they thought that the dark demon race in the outer realm might have been exterminated. Mo Qingyun shook his head when he heard Qianling Long and the others' words. He said, "The dark demon race is powerful and has a strong foundation. They might not be completely exterminated by the other races. For example, the dark demon race on the wild continent survived even though they were attacked by the other races." Qianling Long and the others' expressions immediately became serious when they heard Mo Qingyun's words. According to the situation on the wild continent, the dark demon race on the outer realm continent was most likely not exterminated. Just the dark devil race of the wild continent was already this powerful. Just how powerful would the dark devil race of the outer realm be? After chatting with Qianling Long and the others for a while, Mo Qingyun walked towards the corpses of the demonic beasts and suddenly had a bold idea. He thought to himself, "These sealed corpses of the demonic beasts are extremely powerful. If I can refine them into clones, it would be a great choice." These corpses were different from the Xuanwu corpses that Mo Qingyun had obtained before. They were not corpses that Mo Qingyun could not refine at the moment. Besides, even if Mo Qingyun couldn't use all of these corpses, it would be good to give them to He Xian and the others. With this thought in mind, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated and immediately collected the corpses. After collecting all the corpses of the demonic beasts, Mo Qingyun walked towards the blood exchange altar, wanting to confirm it further. After observing it for a while, Mo Qingyun was finally able to confirm that this was the blood exchange altar of the Dark Devil race. After observing the blood exchange altar for a while, Mo Qingyun's gaze fell on the blood pools at the side. Due to the passage of countless years, the blood pools that were once filled with blood had now turned into pieces of blood crystals. The energy contained in these blood crystals is comparable to some powerful cultivation sage elixirs. They are good cultivation materials. After picking up a piece of blood crystal and observing it, Mo Qingyun was pleasantly surprised. He immediately collected all the blood crystals. After a while, Mo Qingyun took all the valuable items in the secret underground chamber. Although the harvest this time is good, it's a pity that we didn't find any cultivation techniques from the outer realm. Before Mo Qingyun left the secret underground chamber, he glanced around and couldn't help but sigh. He said, "Let's go and continue to look for new ruins. Let's see if we can find any cultivation techniques." After Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he walked out of the secret underground chamber. Seeing this, Qianling Long and the other two hurriedly followed him back into the ancient castle. Standing in the ancient castle and looking at the corpses in the main hall, Mo Qingyun couldn't help but sigh again. He said, "It's a pity that the Gate of Fortune is broken. I can't use the martial soul magic gate. Otherwise, it would be good to summon some ghosts to help me search for treasures." Ever since the Gate of Fortune was broken and merged with his body, he still couldn't get used to it. Mo Qingyun sighed. He didn't think too much and walked out of the ancient castle. "Let's go east." When they arrived outside the ancient castle, Mo Qingyun scanned the surroundings before leading Qianling Long and the other two towards the east. Not long after, Mo Qingyun and the other three found another ruin. This was the ruin of an ordinary sect. What disappointed Mo Qingyun was that there wasn't even a corpse, let alone an outer realm cultivation technique. Mo Qingyun had no choice but to continue forward and look for other ruins. A few hours later, as Mo Qingyun and the other three continued to move forward, they saw other people who had come to explore this place. These people were all in a hurry and were moving in the same direction as if they had found some treasures. Let's follow them and take a look. Seeing these people's abnormal behavior, Mo Qingyun told Qianling Long and the other two and follow behind them. Not long after, Mo Qingyun followed these people and arrived in front of a huge tomb. On the tomb, there were many demonic beasts engraved on it. It was exactly the same as the ancient castle from before. It seems like this tomb should be related to the Dark Demon tribe. Mo Qingyun sized up the mausoleum and discovered its origins. He was curious about this mausoleum, the tomb of the ancestors of the Dark Demon tribe. There should be some good things inside. Perhaps there might even be a cultivation technique from the outer realm. Just as Mo Qingyun's heart was filled with anticipation, his brows furrowed tightly, and a troubled expression appeared on his face. The mausoleum in front of him was surrounded by a high-level formation, which made it somewhat troublesome to enter. Is there anyone who is good at formations? Please come out and break the formation. This formation is very high-level. It's almost comparable to a high-level saint formation. Only a high-level saint formation master can break it. Not necessarily. This formation has existed for too long. Its power is far from what it used to be. A mid-grade saint formation master can give it a try. A few people who knew about formations walked to the front of the mausoleum and began to talk. However, it was obvious that they couldn't break the formation. They were just wasting time. Seeing these people's behavior, Mo Qingyun hesitated for a moment before walking towards the tomb. Instead of letting these people waste time, he might as well do it himself and quickly break the array. However, before Mo Qingyun could take more than a few steps, his path was blocked by someone. Chapter 2183. Seeing this person attack, Mo Qingyun's body immediately flashed, and he easily dodged this palm strike. The centaur was shocked to see that his attack was dodged. He stared at Mo Qingyun and said, "Interesting. You actually dodged my attack. I'll play with you then." As soon as this person finished speaking, he did not give Mo Qingyun a chance to speak and immediately rushed towards Mo Qingyun. His attack, which was suspected of being a sneak attack, was dodged by a person in the Nine Heavens mystic immortal realm. To him, this was undoubtedly a great humiliation. It gave him a strong sense of mockery. Mo Qingyun's face turned ugly when he saw that the person had attacked him again. He was furious. Even a man would have a temper. Now that the other party had provoked him again and again, it would be unreasonable if he did not retaliate. Most importantly, Mo Qingyun had already decided that he wanted to monopolize the Dark Demon race's mausoleum. In that case, he had nothing to say. He could use this opportunity to chase them away. He was not a kind person. After breaking the mausoleum's formation, he would allow others to enter together. Zhan is using his power to bully others again. That's all he's capable of. He can only bully the weak. He attacked this kid because he wants to use this opportunity to get on the good side of the few Saint Array masters. This kid is really unlucky. He caught Zhan's eye and became Zhan's pretentious cornerstone. Everyone looked at Mo Qingyun in disdain when they saw that person attacking Mo Qingyun. They sympathized with him. Just as they were worried about Mo Qingyun, the next scene shocked them. Get lost. Looking at Zhan, who was attacking again, Mo Qingyun waved his arm and blasted a palm strike at the former. Then, a huge black palm with an imposing aura charged at Zhan. So powerful. Zhan was shocked when he was enveloped by the aura of the huge black palm. His eyes were filled with fear. He did not expect that the person who was like an ant in his eyes would be so powerful. He had made a mistake this time. He had met a ruthless character. Boom! Before Zhan could recover from his shock, he was hit by the huge black palm and was instantly sent flying. Bang! Shurjan's body flew out and crashed into the wall of the mausoleum, turning into a pile of mud. When Shurjan's body slid down, his breathing was already extremely weak. It seemed like he would be half-crippled in the future. Seeing this scene, the surrounding people were all stunned. They couldn't believe what they were seeing. Am I seeing things? Is he that strong? The might of his palm strike is comparable to that of an expert of the intermediate stage of the sage realm. This young man is too monstrous. How can one choose not get wet if one stands by the river all the time? Shurjan has fallen this time. After witnessing Mo Qingyun's strength, the gazes of the surrounding people immediately changed greatly. At this moment, Mo Qingyun was already someone on the same level as them in their hearts. After sending Shurjan flying with a palm strike, Mo Qingyun did not stop and continued to walk toward the mausoleum. Mo Qingyun came to the front of the mausoleum. He ignored the Saint Array masters and began to observe the mausoleum's array. Seeing Mo Qingyun's actions, the Saint Array masters sneered and expressed their disdain for Mo Qingyun. Kid, don't think that you're omnipotent just because you have some ability. Array Tao is broad and profound. It's not as simple as you think. You'd better step aside obediently. Kid, I can see that your talent is not weak. If you're willing to learn Array Tao, I can take you in as an in-name disciple. We told you to get lost. Don't stand here and get in the way. Didn't you hear us? After mocking Mo Qingyun, the Saint Array masters showed their disdain and wanted to chase Mo Qingyun away. Seeing their actions, Mo Qingyun frowned and looked at them with displeasure. He said coldly, "You can leave now. I can break through this array myself. There's no need for you to get in the way." The Saint Array masters were immediately enraged when they heard Mo Qingyun's words. One of them blew his beard and glared at him. What kind of status did they have? They could not tolerate being looked down on by a kid. Kid, you're too arrogant. Looks like we have to teach you a lesson. We're not Shurjan. It's definitely a mistake for you to be arrogant in front of us. Since you're young and ignorant, I can spare your life if you kowtow, admit your mistake, and cut off your own tongue. A few Saint Array masters sneered, rubbing their fists and rubbing their palms as if they were about to attack Mo Qingyun. Mo Qingyun narrowed his eyes slightly when he saw their actions. His face slowly turned cold. He said, "Looks like you're refusing a toast only to be forced to drink a forfeit. Since that's the case, don't blame me for being rude." The demonic star-splitting palm. As soon as Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he threw a palm strike at the few of them, blasting out a palm shadow with an even stronger aura. The Saint Array masters immediately became shocked when they saw Mo Qingyun's palm strike. Fear flooded their faces. They never thought that Mo Qingyun had actually held back some of his strength when he attacked earlier. Everyone, this kid is very strong. Let's work together. Fellow Taoists, please lend me a hand. We owe you a favor. If we're killed, you won't be able to enter the tomb. When the Saint Array masters blocked the attack, they did not forget to ask for help from the onlookers. When they heard the Saint Array masters' request for help, some of the people who were related to them immediately helped them block the attack. Qian Linglong and the other two did not stop these people from helping. They acted as if they were watching a show. They knew very well that with Mo Qingyun's strength, all of them together would not be able to defeat him. As such, there was no need for them to be in a hurry to attack. It would be good to let Mo Qingyun play with them. Boom! A loud sound was heard. Under Mo Qingyun's palm strike, the Saint Array masters and their helpers were all sent flying. Since the force of the palm strike was shared by everyone, they did not suffer any injuries even though they were sent flying. After witnessing Mo Qingyun's strength, the Saint Array masters did not dare to stop him anymore. They retreated to the side with a dark expression. Seeing these people's actions, Mo Qingyun smiled meaningfully. He looked at the people around him and said, "It seems like you didn't understand the meaning of my words. I told you to get out of my sight, not to watch from the side." When they heard Mo Qingyun's words, the people around him exploded again. They all looked dissatisfied. Chapter 2184. Kid, don't go too far. Do you really think we're afraid of you? Even if you're powerful, there are so many of us here. We'll exhaust you to death if we take our time. Everyone, if we join forces, this kid won't be able to contend with us. There's no need to be afraid of him. Faced with Mo Qingyun's overbearing attitude, the crowd was indignant, and their faces were filled with fear. At this moment, a green-haired man walked out of the crowd while the crowd was fuming. As soon as the young man walked out of the crowd, he attracted everyone's attention and made them fearful of him. Soon after, the crowd hurriedly retreated and distanced themselves from him. I didn't expect the Poison Emperor Cui Baixiong to come as well. Looks like we won't get a share of the mausoleum. Even if we don't get a share, it's the same for that kid. Cui Baixiong isn't easy to talk to. It's better for Cui Baixiong to get it than that kid. I don't like him. We're a group of Saint Stage experts. How can we be bullied by a kid at the Nine Heavens' mysterious immortal stage? As the crowd retreated, they were still whispering to each other, showing their dissatisfaction with Mo Qingyun. Seeing the crowd's actions, Cui Baixiong sneered, showing his disdain for the crowd. Cui Baixiong looked at everyone with disdain. Then, he looked at Mo Qingyun with the same contempt in his eyes. He said, "Brat, from the looks of it, you seem very confident in breaking the mausoleum's array. Let's make a deal." Seeing Cui Baixiong's actions, Mo Qingyun didn't rush to interrupt him. He just looked at him indifferently. He wanted to see what this fellow was referring to when he said deal. You've seen it too. As long as you cooperate with me, they won't dare to stop you. Cui Baixiong pointed at the people around him and said with a proud expression, "If you successfully break the formation, I'll give you a portion of the treasures in the mausoleum. This should be a good deal, right?" Hearing Cui Baixiong's words, the crowd was shocked and thought they had heard wrongly. What? Cui Baixiong wants to cooperate with that kid and give him a portion of the treasures? This kid is too lucky to encounter such a good thing. I can't accept it. Sigh, I thought there would be a good show to watch, but I didn't expect it to end like this. How could the mausoleum's array be so easy to break? I don't believe that kid can do it. Everyone was dissatisfied with Cui Baixiong's actions, and they were jealous of Mo Qingyun. In their opinion, why hadn't they encountered such a good thing before? Hearing the words of the people around him, Cui Baixiong's smile became even wider. He said, "Did you see that? Everyone agrees that my offer is very generous." As soon as Cui Baixiong finished speaking, he revealed a confident expression, as if Mo Qingyun was already in his grasp. Just as Cui Baixiong thought that Mo Qingyun would definitely agree, Mo Qingyun shook his head and said, "Your conditions are indeed very good to them, but to me, it is far from enough." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Cui Baixiong was immediately displeased. His face darkened, and he said, "Kid, you should know when to stop. 10% of the treasures is already a lot. I hope you can consider it carefully." There's no need to consider. 10% is really too little for me. Mo Qingyun shook his head and directly rejected Cui Baixiong's suggestion. He said, "I've already said that this mausoleum is mine. If you're done, leave this place immediately." Seeing Mo Qingyun's attitude, Cui Baixiong's face immediately darkened. He said coldly, "Kid, looks like you refuse a toast only to drink a forfeit. If that's the case, don't even think about getting 10% of the treasures." As Cui Baixiong said this, an obscure and terrifying force enveloped Mo Qingyun. Sensing the approaching force, Mo Qingyun's figure immediately flashed, and he quickly distanced himself from the force. Mo Qingyun's figure flashed a few times, and he retreated 1,000 meters away, avoiding the envelopment of the force. Just as Mo Qingyun dodged, a huge black hole appeared where he was. Looking at the black hole, it seemed to have been eroded by the poisonous fog. It was obvious that Cui Baixiong's poison was very powerful. So with a poison expert, seeing Cui Baixiong's attack, Mo Qingyun knew what he was capable of, and a faint smile appeared on his face. Compared to Saint Energy and Soul Energy, the damage caused to his body by the poison was much smaller. Poison attacks were slow, and unlike Saint Energy and Soul Energy, it could cause destructive damage in the blink of an eye. In this way, With Mo Qingyun's Genesis Bloodline's recovery ability, he did not have to worry about being eroded by poison. I've been discovered. Seeing Mo Qingyun dodge, Cui Baixiong's expression changed, and a look of surprise appeared on his face. He said, "Your perception is very sharp, but this is just a test. What's next is not something you can resist. You should obediently give up resisting." Poison everywhere. Cui Baixiong clenched his fists, and a green light flashed on his fists, emitting a heart-stopping aura. Then, Cui Baixiong threw a punch at Mo Qingyun, and a ball of terrifying green fog was blasted out. This ball of green fog was blasted out, and it expanded rapidly. In the blink of an eye, it covered an area of 10 miles. Under the influence of this green fog, the surrounding vegetation immediately withered, and even some stones turned into dust. Seeing Cui Baixiong's attack, the surrounding people's expressions changed, and they quickly retreated. Of course, Qian Linglong and the other two did not move, and they looked at Cui Baixiong indifferently. Although Cui Baixiong's poison was powerful, it was not much of a threat to those who had condensed the Sane Energy Star Cluster. With their strength, as long as they activated the Sane Energy Star Cluster to resist, they would not be threatened. Qian Linglong and the other two did not move, and they immediately became conspicuous, attracting everyone's attention. The three of them are covered by the poisonous fog, but nothing happened to them at all. To think that there are three such experts hiding among us, we have even less of a chance to get the mausoleum. If Cui Baixiong did not make a move, it would be hard to find out that they are so powerful. The situation is getting more and more interesting. I'm afraid there will be a fierce battle next. Seeing the performance of Qian Linglong and the other two, the crowd was shocked, but at the same time, they were looking forward to it. They really want to know who would end up in the hands of this battle for the tomb. Qian Linglong and the other two were not afraid of the poisonous fog, and so was Mo Qingyun. He was not affected by the poisonous fog. Seeing Mo Qingyun's performance, not only were the surrounding people shocked, but Cui Baixiong was also shocked. Chapter 2185. No, impossible. How could you resist my poison with your cultivation of the 9 heavens Xian immortal realm? The more Cui Baixiong thought about it, the more he couldn't accept this fact. Instinctively, he was terrified. His poison was ineffective against Mo Qingyun. This was undoubtedly a fatal blow to him. Looking at the flustered Cui Baixiong, a faint smile appeared on Mo Qingyun's lips. He said, "Something like poison can only be used in secret. You used it so openly. It would be strange if it worked on others." Hearing Mo Qingyun's logic, Cui Baixiong was stunned and couldn't find any words to refute it. Theoretically, this was the case. However, he wasn't an ordinary poison master. He had already surpassed that stage. Looking at the stunned Cui Baixiong, Mo Qingyun didn't want to waste time talking nonsense with him. He said directly, "It's very rare to be able to use poison at your level. I think you're a talent. If you're willing to submit to me, I can consider sparing your life." "You want me to submit to you?" Cui Baixiong's mind buzzed. He was confused by Mo Qingyun and couldn't keep up with Mo Qingyun's thoughts. He was the one who ordered Mo Qingyun. How could he and Mo Qingyun's positions be reversed in the blink of an eye? Looking at the stunned Cui Baixiong, a faint smile appeared at the corner of Mo Qingyun's mouth. He teased, "Looking at your reaction, are you trying to say that you would rather die than submit to me? It's impossible for you to submit to me." Cui Baixiong was stunned again. The scene of 10,000 alpacas running immediately appeared in his mind. Damn it. Since you already know, why are you still asking this? Although this was what he thought, Cui Baixiong didn't say it out loud. He just looked at Mo Qingyun coldly. However, his actions had already made his attitude clear. Seeing Cui Baixiong's reaction, Mo Qingyun didn't want to waste time talking nonsense with him. He waved at Qian Linglong and the others and said, "Linglong, give them 3 breaths time. If they don't leave, kill them all." "Yes." After hearing Mo Qingyun's instructions, Qian Linglong and the others immediately understood and looked at the crowd coldly. Seeing Mo Qingyun's actions, the surrounding people were all dumbfounded. F***CK, what's going on? Those 3 experts are with him. You're doing this on purpose, aren't you? You're obviously pretending to be a pig to eat a tiger. You're deliberately toying with us. No wonder this brat is so arrogant. With these 3 experts following him, who can do anything to him? You're wrong. Without those 3 experts, no one could do anything to him. I expected the beginning, but I didn't expect the ending. I'm convinced by your pretentiousness. Everyone was vexed for a moment before they hurriedly left, not daring to stay for even a moment longer. What a joke. If Qian Linglong and the other 2 attacked, they wouldn't even have a chance to escape. Young master, I've offended you just now. I'll take my leave. Seeing that Mo Qingyun had a helper, Cui Baixiong did not dare to be arrogant. He immediately smiled apologetically to Mo Qingyun. Then, Cui Baixiong turned around and prepared to leave this troublesome place. Wait a minute. Seeing that Cui Baixiong was about to leave, Mo Qingyun stopped him and said with a smile, "They can leave, but you can't. Since you're not willing to submit to me, I can only wait." Without waiting for Mo Qingyun to finish his words, Cui Baixiong immediately stopped him and said with a nervous expression, "Young master, you're right. A warrior can be killed, but not humiliated. However, when it's time to be a coward, one should still be a coward. I admit that I'm a coward now. I'm willing to submit to you. What a good when it's time to be a coward. Just because of this sentence, I'll spare your life." Seeing that Cui Baixiong was willing to submit to him, Mo Qingyun revealed a satisfied smile and immediately branded him with his soul. Although Cui Baixiong was also a false Saint Realm expert, he was a late Saint Realm expert and was good at using poison. He was a good helper. Keeping him by his side might be useful in the future. I'm going to break the formation. You guys protect me here. After subduing Cui Baixiong, Mo Qingyun instructed the 4 people and was ready to throw himself into breaking the formation. Hearing Mo Qingyun's instructions, Cui Baixiong's expression tensed up and he looked around nervously. Under Cui Baixiong's gaze, Mo Qingyun waved his arm and summoned Wen Yu and the others. Shuelong, Yin Peng, Wen Yu, seeing Shuelong and the others in front of him, Cui Baixiong's eyes immediately widened as he recognized them. He really didn't expect that there were several powerful Saint Array masters around Mo Qingyun. From the actions of Shuelong and the others, he could see that Shuelong and the others had the same status as him. They should have already submitted to Mo Qingyun. No wonder Master has the confidence to break the formation. At this moment, Cui Baixiong seemed to understand why Mo Qingyun was confident to break the formation. In his opinion, with Shuelong and the others' attainments in Array Dao, it shouldn't be difficult to break the Mausoleum's formation. This Mausoleum's formation is a little complicated. Help me break it together. After summoning Shuelong and the others, Mo Qingyun instructed them and began to condense Saint Runes one after another. Seeing Mo Qingyun condensing Saint Runes and his skillful movements, Cui Baixiong's heart was in chaos. What the hell is going on? Could it be that Mo Qingyun said that he didn't rely on Shuelong and the others to break the formation, but on his own strength? When Cui Baixiong realized this, his mood became complicated. He was even more convinced of Mo Qingyun. At this moment, he truly understood what kind of monster his master was. In the following time, Mo Qingyun unhurriedly broke the Mausoleum's formation bit by bit. This process lasted for a day. Mo Qingyun finally broke the formation and walked into the mausoleum. As soon as Mo Qingyun entered the mausoleum, he smelled a strong scent of blood. He couldn't help but frown. There's a life aura fluctuation. When Mo Qingyun smelled the scent of blood, an undetectable aura fluctuation entered his senses. After discovering this, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated. He immediately warned Shuelong and the others. Everyone be careful. In addition to some traps, there may be some beings from the outside world hiding in the Dark Devil Race's mausoleum. When they heard Mo Qingyun's words, the expressions of Shuelong and the others all became solemn. When Mo Qingyun reminded everyone, Chui Baixiong's eyes lit up. He walked to Mo Qingyun's side and said, "Master, I can use poison to explore the way. In the place where my poison mist spreads, the beings from the outside world will have nowhere to hide. They can only appear in front of us." When he heard Chui Baixiong's suggestion, Mo Qingyun's face lit up. He immediately nodded at Chui Baixiong and said, "In that case, use your poison to explore the way. We will protect you." Mo Qingyun didn't expect that sparing Chui Baixiong's life would have such an effect. Chapter 2186. Poison spread everywhere. Chui Baixiong flipped his palm, and a cloud of green mist gathered in his palm. He then scattered it toward the inside of the mausoleum. As soon as the green mist left his palm, it immediately exploded and dispersed at an astonishing speed. Soon, the visible space in the mausoleum was filled with poisonous mist. Roar! Under the corrosion of the poisonous mist, some of the hidden outer world creatures let out angry roars. It seemed that the poisonous mist that Chui Baixiong scattered made them very uncomfortable. It's really useful. Seeing the outer world creatures appear, Mo Qingyun and the others were delighted, and bright smiles appeared on their faces. Now that these outer world creatures had revealed themselves, it was much easier to deal with them. They did not have to constantly be on guard against their sneak attacks. Shuelong, Yin Peng, Wenyu, the three of you remove the formation taboo. The rest of you, follow me to kill the outer world creatures. Seeing the outer world creatures appear, Mo Qingyun instructed everyone and began to go deeper into the mausoleum. As soon as Mo Qingyun and the others entered the mausoleum, they attracted the attention of the outer world creatures, who rushed toward them like crazy. Presumably, in the eyes of the outer world creatures, the people in front of them were the ones who caused them so much pain. These outer world creatures are very strong. Don't underestimate them. Sensing the aura of the outer world creatures, Mo Qingyun's expression became serious, and he immediately reminded Qian Linglong and the others. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Qian Linglong and the others immediately stopped underestimating the outer world creatures, and their expressions were full of vigilance. Among these outer world creatures, even the weakest one had reached the latter stage, Saint Realm. Fortunately, these outer world creatures did not condense the Saint Power Star cluster. Otherwise, Mo Qingyun and the others would have to run for their lives with their tails between their legs. Soon, an outer world creature in the form of a bull-headed demonic beast charged toward Mo Qingyun. Fire of civilization, demonic star, splitting palm. Facing the bull-headed demonic beast charge, Mo Qingyun waved his palm and blasted out a huge flaming palm shadow. As soon as the flaming palm shadow formed, it emitted a terrifying heat wave and crushed toward the bull-headed demonic beast. The fire of civilization. Seeing Mo Qingyun make a move, Chui Baixiong, who was at the back, trembled. He did not expect Mo Qingyun to be able to drive the fire of civilization into his body. This was a huge blow to him. Is Master the reincarnation of the fire of civilization? While Chui Baixiong was still in shock, this thought popped into his mind. In his opinion, this was the only possibility that could explain Mo Qingyun's condition. Bang! After being struck by Mo Qingyun's palm, the ox-headed Yao beast was immediately sent flying, crashing heavily into the interior of the mausoleum. When Mo Qingyun sent the bull-headed demonic beast flying, Qian Linglong and the others were also fighting against the demonic beast from the outer realm. Master is so powerful. It seems that when he attacked me earlier, he did not even use 10% of his strength. Seeing Mo Qingyun's strength, Chui Baixiong was shocked again. He could not help but feel a lingering fear. If Mo Qingyun were to fight with him and use his full strength, he might not even be able to take 3 moves. Under the full strength of Mo Qingyun and the others, the demonic beasts from the outer realm were immediately defeated. They were forced to retreat by Mo Qingyun. Some of the weaker demonic beasts from the outer realm were directly killed by Mo Qingyun and the others. Seeing the power of Mo Qingyun and the others, the demonic beasts from the outer realm did not fight with their lives on the line. They immediately fled into the interior of the mausoleum. Seeing the demonic beasts from the outer realm flee into the interior of the mausoleum, Mo Qingyun was not in a hurry to chase after them. Instead, he broke the formation bit by bit. For Mo Qingyun, these demonic beasts from the outer realm were not important. There was not much difference between killing them and not killing them. Their purpose for coming here was for the treasures in the mausoleum, not to deal with the demonic beasts from the outer realm. More importantly, the mausoleum of the dark demon race was filled with danger. It was not wise to rashly chase after them. If they encountered any sudden changes, it might put Mo Qingyun and the others in a very passive position. This was not something that Mo Qingyun wanted to see. Without the harassment of the demonic beasts from the outer realm, the speed at which Shuel Long and the others broke the formation immediately became much faster. Next, Mo Qingyun and the others moved into the interior of the mausoleum bit by bit like this. After a few hours, Mo Qingyun and the others arrived at the center of the mausoleum. The center of the mausoleum was very large. There was a huge coffin in the center. The coffin was surrounded by funerary items. This is the profound star stone, 100-core golden grass. Seeing the funerary items around the coffin, Mo Qingyun was immediately overjoyed. He recognized some of the treasures among them. Seeing these treasures, Mo Qingyun immediately walked over and took them without hesitation. While Mo Qingyun was collecting precious materials, Qianling Long and the others walked over to some weapons and picked up powerful saint artifacts. This long whip is actually a top-grade saint artifact. Qianling Long picked up a silver whip and was pleasantly surprised. Obviously, she had taken a fancy to this long whip weapon. When Qianling Long picked up the saint artifact whip, King Devourer picked up a blue staff, which was also a top-grade saint artifact. As for Han Liu and the others, they also picked up different saint artifacts with excited expressions on their faces. If they were on the Wild Continent, it would not be easy for them to obtain these things. After Qianling Long and the others picked their weapons, Mo Qingyun put the remaining saint artifacts into the Fortune mainland. After taking away all the funerary items, Mo Qingyun looked at the coffin and walked towards it. Heavenly Saint Devil Race, Sea Wrecking Branch, 33rd Generation Elder, Zi Yusin's coffin. Standing in front of the coffin, Mo Qingyun saw the words on the coffin and knew the identity of the tomb's owner. After knowing the identity of the tomb's owner, Mo Qingyun was shocked and exclaimed, "I didn't expect there to be so many treasures in this tomb." The owner's identity is actually just an elder of the Dark Devil Race's branch. This discovery caused Mo Qingyun to be so shocked that his expression changed. Intense waves rippled through him. From this, it could be seen how powerful the Dark Devil Race was and how terrifying their strength was. Mo Qingyun absolutely didn't believe that such a powerful race would be annihilated by the encirclement of others. Clang! Mo Qingyun sized up the coffin, then pushed the lid open to see what else was inside. However, as soon as the coffin lid was pushed open, a terrifying aura erupted from within, crushing towards Mo Qingyun and the others. Bang, bang, bang. Under the impact of this momentum, Mo Qingyun and the others were sent flying, and their blood was in turmoil. Mo Qingyun and the others widened their eyes when they were hit by this aura. Their faces were filled with shock. The aura of a corpse was actually so powerful that it gave them quite a fright. Chapter 2187. You rascals dare to steal my burial items. Get over here and die. When Mo Qingyun and the others were sent flying by the powerful aura, an angry roar came from the coffin. Then, a faint shadow flew out of the coffin and stared at Mo Qingyun and the others angrily. The shadow flew out of the coffin and released a terrifying aura. It was so powerful that Mo Qingyun was frightened. Oh no, it's that person's remnant spirit. Run. Sensing the remnant spirit's terrifying aura, Mo Qingyun was shocked and ran away with Qian Linglong and the others. Mo Qingyun knew that although it was just a remnant spirit, it was not something they could fight against. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Qian Linglong did not dare to hesitate and ran away with Mo Qingyun. You want to run away? Seeing the actions of Mo Qingyun and the others, the remnant spirit's gaze turned cold. He raised his hand and grabbed towards Mo Qingyun and the others. He shouted, "Since you've already come, then don't leave. Stay behind and accompany me in death." After the remnant spirit finished speaking, it turned its palm and punched at Mo Qingyun. Under the remnant spirit's attack, hundreds of different bloodline auras gathered on its palm. More than 100 bloodlines. Sensing the bloodline power activated by the remnant spirit, he was shocked and felt that his perception had collapsed. As far as he knew, it was already rare for people to possess a few types of bloodlines, let alone hundreds of types of bloodlines. Fire of Civilization, Saint Demon Star Shattering Fist. Fire of Civilization, Demon Star Shattering Palm. Fire of Civilization, Heavenly Sun Star Piercing Eyes. Facing the remnant spirit's attack, Mo Qingyun did not dare to hesitate. He immediately used all his strength to block it. For a moment, Mo Qingyun unleashed all the mystic abilities he could use without holding back. Boom, boom, boom. The fist glow, palm shadow, and eye technique collided with the blood palm shadow of the remnant spirit, resulting in a series of loud explosions. It was just that this palm of the remnant spirit was too strong. The divine ability that Mo Qingyun displayed was completely unable to contend with it. In the blink of an eye, Mo Qingyun's mystique was forcefully defeated. Then, the remnant spirit's giant palm smashed into Mo Qingyun's body. Mo Qingyun was sent flying toward Qian Linglong and the others after being hit by the remnant spirit's palm. Qingyun, Master. Seeing Mo Qingyun being blasted away, Qian Linglong and the others were shocked and quickly caught Mo Qingyun. Although they managed to catch Mo Qingyun, the force of Mo Qingyun's impact was too great, causing them to be sent flying. Qian Linglong and the others were sent flying for nearly 100 meters before they managed to stabilize themselves. Their faces were filled with shock. This remnant spirit was too terrifying. Just a casual palm strike was enough to render them powerless to fight back. This was after Mo Qingyun had blocked most of the force of the remnant spirit's palm strike. Otherwise, this palm strike would have been enough to seriously injure them. Let's go. Mo Qingyun and the others steadied themselves. They did not dare to stay any longer and immediately fled out of the mausoleum. As Mo Qingyun retreated, his heart was filled with fear. Fortunately, his physical body was strong enough. Otherwise, even if the remnant spirit's palm strike was exhausted, it was not something that he could have easily withstood. Just a remnant spirit has such terrifying combat strength. How powerful was this person when he was alive? As Mo Qingyun thought of this, he became even more fearful of the strength of the dark demon race from the outer realm. Their level of strength was already beyond his reach. It wasn't long before Mo Qingyun and the others arrived outside the mausoleum as they fled madly. Let's go. After arriving outside the mausoleum, Mo Qingyun did not dare to delay and immediately flew towards the depths of the land of heritage. Not long after Mo Qingyun and the others left, the remnant spirit chased them to the exit of the mausoleum. Looking at Mo Qingyun's back, it said in surprise, "This kid has such a strong physical body. After taking my palm strike, he was only seriously injured and did not directly lose his ability to move." The remnant spirit muttered to itself. It did not continue to chase and returned to the mausoleum. An hour later, after fleeing for millions of miles, Mo Qingyun and the others finally stopped. Their faces were filled with fear. The remnant spirit was too terrifying. Fortunately, it did not chase after them. Otherwise, they would have been in danger. Qingyun, your injuries are not light. Quickly adjust your breathing and recover. Seeing Mo Qingyun's injuries, Qian Linglong showed concern and quickly instructed Mo Qingyun. Hearing Qian Linglong's words of concern, Mo Qingyun did not delay at all and immediately immersed himself in cultivation. Seeing Mo Qingyun adjust his breathing and recover, Qin Linglong and the others began to take turns to cultivate and recover from their injuries. Fortunately, I entered the mausoleum with Master. Otherwise, if I encountered that remnant spirit, I would definitely die. Thinking of the remnant spirit's strength, Cui Baixiong's face was filled with fear. He could not help but feel a sense of relief and said, if those people who were chased away knew about the situation in the mausoleum, they would probably be very grateful to Master. This trip to the mausoleum was really full of twists and turns. No one could have imagined the final outcome. No one would have thought that behind the huge treasure, there was actually such a terrifying existence. With this experience, Mo Qingyun and the others were much more cautious. They knew the dangers of the land of heritage. In the following time, Mo Qingyun and the others cultivated like this, slowly recovering from their injuries. After about half a day, Mo Qingyun's complexion improved a little. His injuries were barely stabilized. After stabilizing his injuries, Mo Qingyun withdrew from his cultivation. His face was still tense. Qingyun, how are your injuries? Seeing Mo Qingyun withdraw from his cultivation, Qian Linglong showed a concerned expression and immediately asked him. Hearing Qian Linglong's question, Mo Qingyun could not help but sigh. He shook his head and said, at the moment, they are barely stabilized. If I want to completely recover, I will need at least a few months. There is not enough time to heal now. I will wait until I find an outer realm cultivation technique. This, hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Qian Linglong's face tensed up. She could not help but bite her lips. Although Mo Qingyun's words made sense, she was still worried about Mo Qingyun's injuries. She wanted to wait until Mo Qingyun recovered. However, by the time Mo Qingyun recovered, all the treasures on the land of heritage would have been taken away by others. If that was the case, it would be a bit of a headache. She did not know what to do. Seeing Qian Linglong's concern, King Devourer knew what she was thinking. He suggested to Mo Qingyun, Master, how about you rest at ease and heal your injuries first? Leave the matter of finding an outer realm cultivation technique to us. All right, I will heal my injuries first. You all should do the same as before. Do not rashly fight with others. Hearing King Devourer's suggestion, Mo Qingyun instructed them. His figure flashed and entered the Fortune mainland. Chapter 2188. In a ruin on the Inheritance Continent. Under the attacks of Ziyun Xiao and the others, the Outer Realm beings became undead under their blades. After killing the Outer Realm beings one by one, Ziyun Xiao and the others did not stop and soon arrived at the bottom of the ruin. At the bottom of the ruin, there was a huge statue that emitted a terrifying demonic aura. The owner of this statue, is from the Dark Demon race. Looking at the huge statue before him, Ziyun Xiao immediately felt a familiar aura from it. This feeling was a bloodline connection that would only occur between members of the same race. It seems that there are indeed members of my race in the other realms of the Outer Realm. Ziyun Xiao hesitated for a moment before revealing an expectant expression. I wonder what kind of surprise the inheritance of my race will bring me. I hope it won't disappoint me. I'm going to accept the inheritance of the Outer Realm. You guys stay by my side and protect me. After saying this to the people around him, Ziyun Xiao focused his mind and sent his spiritual force into the statue. Following that, a boundless amount of information overbearingly poured into his spiritual sea. Several hours later, no more information appeared in Ziyun Xiao's mind. The inheritance of the Outer Realm had come to an end. After receiving the inheritance from the statue, Ziyun Xiao's expression became excited. He revealed an expression of ecstasy as he said, with this good fortune blood-devouring art, no one can even think of snatching the position of the first saint from me. Let's return immediately. Ziyun Xiao pondered for a moment before ordering the people behind him to prepare to leave the Outer Realm continent. Hearing Ziyun Xiao's words, the people around him were shocked. They thought they had misheard. Saint Yin Xiao, we've only explored half of the inheritance continent. Based on the current situation, if we continue to explore, we will definitely have a great harvest. If we return like this, wouldn't the remaining treasures be given to others for nothing? Everyone was puzzled by Zi Yunxiao's decision. They did not understand why he would do this. Zi Yunxiao was very clear about everyone's thoughts, but he did not care at all. As far as he was concerned, he had obtained the creation blood-devouring art on this trip, so everything else was insignificant. More importantly, he still hadn't seen Mo Qingyun, which made him feel uneasy. In order to prevent any unforeseen events from happening, he decided to return to his clan and raise his strength first. There's no need to say more. I know what I'm doing. Zi Yunxiao gave a simple explanation. He did not linger any longer and immediately walked out of the ruins. Although the experts from the Dark Devil clan were confused by Zi Yunxiao's actions, they did not say anything. As far as they were concerned, with Zi Yunxiao's temperament, he definitely had his reasons for doing so. After leading everyone out of the ruins, Zi Yunxiao turned to a middle-aged man and ordered, "Wan Gahong, continue to stay in the land of inheritance. Head to the place where Chao Xiong agreed to meet up with you. Tell him the news of our departure." "Yes, Sky Saint." Hearing Zi Yunxiao's instructions, the elder immediately nodded and remembered Zi Yunxiao's instructions. After everything was taken care of, Zi Yunxiao did not stay any longer and immediately left the Heritage Continent with his men. On the Fortune Mainland. When Mo Qingyun arrived at the Fortune Mainland, he did not delay and immediately immersed himself in cultivation. His injuries were very serious this time, comparable to when he was in the Shaman faction's ancestral tomb. In the following days, Huang Xiaolong was immersed in cultivation. In the blink of an eye, a month had passed. I didn't expect my injuries to be almost healed in just a month's time. This is much faster than I expected. Mo Qingyun was a little surprised that his injuries were almost healed in just a month's time. Seeing that his injuries were almost healed, Mo Qingyun withdrew from his cultivation and thought to himself, "I wonder how Ling Long and the others are doing? Did they find any cultivation techniques from the outside world?" With this thought in mind, Mo Qingyun prepared to leave the Fortune Mainland to check on Ling Long and the others' progress. Mo Qingyun's figure flickered and appeared beside Ling Long and the others, standing in front of a huge sect ruin. "Qingyun, your injuries are healed. Master, your injuries are healed. That's great." Seeing Mo Qingyun appear beside them, Ling Long and the others were overjoyed and immediately greeted Mo Qingyun. "Although I haven't fully recovered, it's no longer a problem." Hearing Ling Long and the others' words, Mo Qingyun nodded at them and said, "How's your progress? Have you found any cultivation techniques from the outside world?" Under Mo Qingyun's question, Ling Long and the others' expressions darkened, and they all shook their heads at Mo Qingyun. Seeing everyone's reaction, Mo Qingyun couldn't help but feel a bit disappointed. He couldn't help but worry. Could it be that there really isn't a cultivation method for the outer realm on this inheritance continent? "Master, although we did not find any cultivation techniques from the outside world, someone found them in the ruins." "That's right. After that person obtained the cultivation techniques from the outside world, he successfully condensed the Saint Power Star cluster. In this sect ruin, there are 2 places where treasures are hidden, but no one has been able to conquer them. If I'm not wrong, there should be cultivation techniques from the outside world in those 2 places." Ling Long and the others pointed at the sect ruin and briefly explained it to Mo Qingyun. Hearing Ling Long and the others' words, Mo Qingyun's expression immediately became joyful and expectant. He said, "If that's the case, let's not waste any more time and enter the ruins immediately." After Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he flew into the ruins and headed toward the 2 ruins that Ling Long had mentioned. "Qingyun, these 2 ruins are the Divine Weapon Valley and Shunju Palace. Which one should we go to first?" In the process of entering the ruins, Ling Long asked Mo Qingyun and let Mo Qingyun make the decision. "Let's go to Shunju Palace first." Hearing Ling Long's words, Mo Qingyun thought for a while and said, everything should be focused on finding the cultivation techniques from the outside world. It won't be too late to go to Divine Weapon Valley after we find the cultivation techniques from the outside world. Okay. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Qian Linglong immediately nodded and led the way for Mo Qingyun. After a while, Mo Qingyun arrived outside Shunju Palace with Qian Linglong leading the way. At that moment, there were hundreds and thousands of people standing outside Shunju Palace, crazily attacking the array of Shunju Palace. Boom! Suddenly, there was a loud sound and the array of Shunju Palace was broken. As the formation of Shunju Palace was broken, everyone scrambled to fly into Shunju Palace. Let's follow them. Seeing everyone's actions, Mo Qingyun did not want to fall behind and immediately chased after them. Chapter 2189. Under Mo Qingyun's gaze, he saw dazzling light spots floating at the top of Shunju Palace. At a glance, these light spots floating at the top of Shunju Palace were as dazzling as the stars in the void. These light spots contained the cultivation techniques of the outer realm. Seeing the light spots at the top of the palace, Missouri Qingyun was immediately shocked and excited. Immediately, Mo Qingyun sent his consciousness into the light spots to sense the cultivation techniques of the outer realm. As soon as Mo Qingyun's consciousness entered the light spots, he felt his consciousness being pulled into an illusory space. Immediately after, a transparent figure appeared in his perception. I am the cultivation technique spirit of the yin and yang realm splitting palm. Defeat me, and you'll be qualified to obtain the cultivation technique. When the transparent figure appeared, he expressionlessly explained the situation to Mo Qingyun. Cultivation technique spirit. Hearing the transparent figure's words, Mo Qingyun could not help but be stunned. He was shocked by the other party's words. This was the first time he had seen a cultivation technique spirit. As expected of an outer realm cultivation technique, it can actually produce a cultivation technique spirit. It must be very powerful. As Mo Qingyun thought about it, he became expectant and looked at the cultivation technique spirit with a solemn expression. Although the cultivation technique spirit's aura was only comparable to the initial stage of the sage realm, it gave him a very dangerous feeling. Yin and yang realm splitting palm. After briefly sizing up Mo Qingyun, the cultivation technique spirit took the lead and blasted a palm at Mo Qingyun. In the face of the cultivation technique spirit's attack, Mo Qingyun did not dare to be careless and immediately counterattacked. Demonic star splitting palm. Mo Qingyun flipped his palm and black mist immediately surged on his palm, condensing into a terrifying creation power. Immediately after, a huge black palm shadow blasted out from Mo Qingyun's hand. Bang! When the two palms collided, there was a loud bang and a powerful force wave. At the same time, the two palm shadows were in a deadlock in the air, forming a situation where they were evenly matched. Seeing this scene, Mo Qingyun's expression immediately changed. He was a little surprised by this scene. Under normal circumstances, an ordinary early Saint stage powerhouse would not be able to block his full-powered palm strike. The art spirit before his eyes had actually blocked his attack so easily. This really surprised him. From the looks of it, the yin and yang splitting palm is indeed not a simple technique. It should be a top saint level technique. After exchanging blows with the art spirit, Mo Qingyun's mind spun, and he realized how extraordinary the yin-yang world's splitting palm was. Although he had obtained the yin-yang separation palm, he might not necessarily practice it. However, having such a cultivation method was not a bad thing. After exchanging a few blows with the cultivation method spirit and testing its limits, Mo Qingyun no longer showed any mercy. Then, he displayed all kinds of divine powers and fought with the cultivation method spirit crazily. Under Mo Qingyun's crazy attacks, the cultivation method spirit finally could not withstand the attacks and was overbearingly blasted away by Mo Qingyun. As the cultivation method spirit was blasted away, it turned into words and quickly disappeared into Mo Qingyun's sea of consciousness. As the incantation of the yin-yang separation palm entered Mo Qingyun's mind, Mo Qingyun quickly digested it. Unfortunately, this is only an attack incantation and not a cultivation incantation to condense the Saint Power Star cluster. After comprehending the yin-yang separation palm once, Mo Qingyun looked disappointed and looked at the sky above the palace again. However, what made Mo Qingyun feel helpless was that the light spots at the top of the palace had all disappeared. It seemed that the cultivation methods in the Shunju Palace had been divided up by everyone. After getting such a result, Mo Qingyun's expression tensed up and his heart sank. Then, Mo Qingyun looked at Qianling Long and the others, hoping that they could gain something. Seeing Mo Qingyun looking at them, Qianling Long and the others immediately understood what Mo Qingyun was thinking. Then, they shook their heads at Mo Qingyun, indicating that they did not get any cultivation methods. Seeing Qianling Long and the others' actions, Mo Qingyun's expression darkened. He looked at the bottom of the palace and said, "There is an entrance there. It seems to lead to the second level of the Shunju Palace. Let's go and take a look." After Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he rushed to the entrance of the palace and tried to enter the second level before the others. Seeing Mo Qingyun's actions, Qianling Long and the others did not hesitate and immediately chased after Mo Qingyun. After a short while, when Mo Qingyun entered the second level of the Shunju Palace, he saw a familiar figure, Chao Xiong. Seeing the figure in front of him, Mo Qingyun's expression changed. He immediately recognized him. Mo Qingyun hadn't expected to run into Chao Xiong here. Enemies were bound to meet on a narrow road. Immediately after, Mo Qingyun revealed a vigilant expression as he was on guard against Chao Xiong. He could feel that Chao Xiong's cultivation had reached the saint realm of consummation and was many times stronger than before. Given Chao Xiong's cultivation, it would be extremely difficult for him to kill the other party. More importantly, if Mo Qingyun tried to comprehend a cultivation method, he would definitely be ambushed by Chao Xiong. This was Mo Qingyun's biggest headache right now. Chao Xiong, Qianling Long, and the others followed. When they saw Chao Xiong in front of them, they were also shocked. Seeing that Qianling Long had rushed over, Chao Xiong sneered and said, "Mo Qingyun, with me here today, none of you will get a cultivation method from the outside world." Hearing Chao Xiong's words, Mo Qingyun's heart sank and his expression turned ugly. Chao Xiong was a member of the outside world's Bloodsword tribe. He could cultivate in the outside world, but they couldn't ignore it. "Ling Long, you guys go comprehend the cultivation method. I'll keep Chao Xiong busy." Looking at Chao Xiong, Mo Qingyun's expression darkened as he instructed Qianling Long and the others. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Qianling Long and the others frowned and looked troubled. "Qingyun, your injuries haven't healed yet. It's not good for you to engage in an intense battle. Let us keep Chao Xiong busy. Master, our comprehension and strength are inferior to yours. Will definitely take longer to comprehend than you. Master, just listen to Mistress. You should go comprehend the cultivation method." Hearing Mo Qingyun's instructions, Qianling Long and the others thought for a moment and immediately tried to persuade Mo Qingyun. Under their persuasion, Mo Qingyun hesitated for a moment before nodding at them. "If that's the case, we'll comprehend the cultivation method from the outside world. You guys just need to keep Chao Xiong busy. There's no need to fight with your lives on the line." After Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he no longer hesitated and immediately sent his consciousness into a speck of light. "Brat, you actually dare to comprehend the cultivation method after seeing me here. You're quite bold." Seeing Mo Qingyun's actions, Chao Xiong's expression immediately darkened. Killing intent radiated from his body as he said, "Since you want to die, I'll fulfill your wish and kill all of you here." After Chao Xiong finished speaking, he charged at Mo Qingyun and blasted a palm at Mo Qingyun. Chapter 2190. As soon as the two sides met, they fought fiercely, creating earth-shattering shockwaves. Although Qian Linglong and the others had joined forces, they still did not have the upper hand against Chao Xiong. Fortunately, although Qian Linglong and the others did not have the upper hand, they still managed to stop Chao Xiong. After successfully stopping Chao Xiong, Qian Linglong and the others relaxed. Their hearts that had been hanging in the air were finally able to relax. What they needed to do now was to stall for time and give Mo Qingyan more time to comprehend the technique. Humph, you want to stop me? I was just playing with you. After fighting fiercely with Qian Linglong and the others for a while, Chao Xiong's face darkened and his aura suddenly surged. Subsequently, the number of Saint Power Star clusters outside Chao Xiong's body also skyrocketed. In the blink of an eye, there were more than 117 Saint Power Star clusters. Seeing the Saint Power Star clusters outside Chao Xiong's body, Qian Linglong and the others were shocked. Their hearts immediately sank. They did not expect Chao Xiong to have hidden his true strength in the fight just now. Chao Xiong's current strength was at least several times stronger than before. The difference was too great. Chao Xiong activated all his strength. He did not hesitate and immediately attacked Qian Linglong and the others. Chao Xiong put two fingers together and quickly waved them forward, blasting out rays of sword light toward Qian Linglong and the others. Frost Moon, God Imprisoning Whip. Facing Chao Xiong's powerful attack, Qian Linglong did not dare to hold back. She took out the Saint Weapon Whip that she had obtained from the tomb. Under Qian Linglong's waving, the Saint Weapon Whip immediately bloomed with an icy blue light, and blue whip shadows shot out. The shadows of the whips formed chains that enveloped Chao Xiong. Quasi-nebula weapon. Seeing the whip in Qian Linglong's hand, Chao Xiong's expression immediately changed to one of fear. Although he was powerful, he did not dare to be careless in the face of an attack from a quasi-nebula weapon. Immediately, Chao Xiong restrained his attacks and carefully guarded against the Frost Moon God Imprisoning Whip's attack. Quasi-nebula weapons can suppress Chao Xiong. Everyone, take out your quasi-nebula weapons and deal with him. Seeing the Frost Moon God Imprisoning Whip's attack, Qian Linglong's expression immediately lit up. After hearing Qian Linglong's reminder, Han Liu and the others no longer hesitated and took out their quasi-nebula divine weapons. As Han Liu and the others took out their quasi-nebula divine weapons, the combat power they displayed immediately increased by a level. Under the powerful attacks of Han Liu and the others, Chao Xiong's offense was completely suppressed, and his situation became somewhat passive. These guys actually have quasi-nebula divine weapons. This is really surprising. Chao Xiong was shocked when he saw the weapons of Qian Linglong and the others. His face turned cold, and he sneered, "Humph. Originally, I just wanted to play with you, but I didn't expect you to be so capable. Since that's the case, I won't show any mercy." As Chao Xiong spoke, he bit his finger and quickly formed a blood seal. When this blood seal appeared, it produced a terrifying aura, giving people a strong sense of oppression. Bloodthirsty demonic sword, come out. Under Chao Xiong's command, a purplish-black blood sword immediately flew out of the blood seal. When this purplish-black blood sword appeared, it emitted a terrifying, bloody, demonic aura that suppressed the weapons of Qian Linglong and the others. After taking out the bloodthirsty demonic sword, Chao Xiong revealed a sinister smile and said proudly, "You're not the only ones who obtained treasures in the land of heritage. I also obtained a powerful inheritance." Hearing Chao Xiong's words, Qian Linglong's expression immediately became tense. I don't mind telling you that the bloodthirsty demonic sword is a true nebula divine weapon. After taking out the bloodthirsty demonic sword, the cold smile on Chao Xiong's face became even more pronounced. He said, "Now, I'll show you the true power of a nebula divine weapon." Blood sword filled the sky. Chao Xiong waved his finger, and the bloodthirsty demonic sword violently trembled, releasing a dazzling bloody light. Immediately after, the entire second floor of Shunju Palace was illuminated by the bloody light. Swoosh, 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 wherever the bloody light passed, it was like a sword flashing past, attacking those who were enveloped. Not long after, several people were affected by the bloody light and were severely injured. Seeing this scene, Qian Linglong and the others' expressions changed drastically, and they became even more fearful of Chao Xiong. What a powerful superpower! We haven't seen each other for just over a month, and Chao Xiong's strength has become so terrifying. Luckily, Ziyun Xiao and the others aren't here. Otherwise, we'd be in trouble today. Looking at the current situation, we won't be able to hold on for long. I hope Master can quickly comprehend the cultivation technique. Under Chao Xiong's powerful attacks, Qian Linglong and the others' expressions became tense, and they silently hoped in their hearts. The only thing they could do now was to successfully comprehend the cultivation technique for Mo Qingyun before they couldn't hold on anymore. Linglong and the others are in a bad situation. I have to quickly comprehend the cultivation technique. Due to Chao Xiong's harassment, Mo Qingyun didn't fully concentrate on comprehending the cultivation technique. Therefore, he was very clear about the battle situation of Qian Linglong and the others. Seeing that Qian Linglong and the others were in a bad situation, Mo Qingyun became anxious and wanted to find the cultivation technique for the outer realm as soon as possible. One cultivation technique spirit was killed. 2 cultivation technique spirits were killed. 3 cultivation technique spirits were killed. Under Mo Qingyun's crazy comprehension, one cultivation technique after another was studied and digested by him. However, what made him feel hopeful was that after comprehending several cultivation techniques in a row, he still didn't find any that could condense the Saint Power Star cluster. There are still 3 cultivation technique light spots left. I hope they won't disappoint me. Looking at the 3 remaining light spots, Mo Qingyun's heart became even heavier, and he chose a cultivation technique light spot to comprehend. Then, Mo Qingyun's consciousness flickered, and he arrived in an illusory space. Let's fight! Looking at the condensed cultivation method spirit, Mo Qingyun didn't waste any more words with him and directly attacked him. Seeing Mo Qingyun's direct attack, the cultivation technique spirit fought with Mo Qingyun, and the battle between the two was earth-shattering. After a short while, under Mo Qingyun's storm-like attacks, the cultivation technique spirit was finally blasted away. As the cultivation technique spirit was blasted away, a vast amount of information poured into Mo Qingyun's mind. Found it. After digesting the information in his mind, Mo Qingyun's expression immediately brightened, and he became excited. This was a technique called the 9 Temples of the Sun Nebula Technique. Chapter 2191. It's indeed a cosmic cloud state cultivation method. It's much stronger than a sacred state cultivation method. After reading the introduction of the 9 Temples of the Sun, Mo Qingyun couldn't help but sigh. He was looking forward to it. However, the current situation didn't allow it, so Mo Qingyun wasn't in a rush to cultivate it. The most important thing now was to take care of Chao Xiong and settle the score with him. Chao Xiong, it's time to settle the score between us. Looking at Chao Xiong, Mo Qingyun's expression turned cold. Red light flashed in his right eye. Fire of civilization, heavenly sun-piercing star eye. A beam of red light shot out of Mo Qingyun's right eye and arrived in front of Chao Xiong in the blink of an eye. Faced with Mo Qingyun's sudden attack, Chao Xiong's expression immediately turned pale with fright. He's finished learning the cultivation method. Seeing Mo Qingyun attack him, Chao Xiong instinctively had this thought and immediately panicked. While Chao Xiong was panicking, he did not hesitate at all and immediately dodged the onslaught of the eye force. Although Chao Xiong dodged, the speed of the eye light was too fast, and it still hit him. Pucci! Under the impact of the eye force, Chao Xiong's right arm was immediately penetrated, and a huge bloody hole appeared. With his right arm heavily injured by Mo Qingyun, Chao Xiong's force immediately weakened a little. Master heavily injured Chao Xiong. Qingyun, did you find the cultivation method? Seeing Mo Qingyun attack, Qian Linglong and the others were overjoyed and excited. They finally persevered until Mo Qingyun finished learning the cultivation method. More importantly, Now that Mo Qingyun had joined the battle, their battle prowess would multiply. Now that Chao Xiong was heavily injured by Mo Qingyun, it would be much easier for them to deal with him. I found it. Hearing Qian Linglong and the others' questions, Mo Qingyun nodded at them and said, "Let's talk about the skill later. Let's kill this guy first." Yes. Under Mo Qingyun's instructions, Qian Linglong and the others immediately nodded and turned to look at Chao Xiong. Seeing the actions of Mo Qingyun and the others, Chao Xiong immediately panicked and his face paled. He really didn't expect that he would end up in such a situation even though his strength had greatly improved. Attack with all your might. Capture Chao Xiong at all costs. Looking at Chao Xiong, Mo Qingyun had a solemn expression as he spoke to Qian Linglong and the others. He could sense that Chao Xiong's current cultivation should be considered quasi-nebula realm. If he let this fellow escape, and if he broke through to the nebula realm, it would be difficult to deal with him. Shadow Dragon Transformation. As Mo Qingyun's words fell, he took the lead and charged towards Chao Xiong, his figure rapidly transforming into a shadow dragon. After transforming into a shadow dragon, Mo Qingyun waved his dragon claw and clawed at Chao Xiong. Fire of Civilization. Demonic Star, Splitting Palm. Mo Qingyun waved his dragon claw, and a terrifying flame energy quickly gathered on his dragon claw. Immediately after, a huge flaming palm blasted toward Chao Xiong. Blood sword shatters the 9 heavens. Facing Mo Qingyun's palm attack, Chao Xiong didn't dare to be careless and immediately used his blood sword to counterattack. Under Chao Xiong's control, the bloodthirsty demonic sword immediately released a blood-red light and slashed at the incoming flaming palm. Bang! The blood sword slashed at the bloody palm and immediately exploded with a loud bang, creating a terrifying wave of flames. While Chao Xiong was blocking Mo Qingyun's attack, Qian Linglong and the others didn't hesitate and attacked Chao Xiong one after another. Instantly, waves of imposing attacks bombarded Chao Xiong. In the face of Qian Linglong and the others' combined attacks, Chao Xiong immediately panicked and was forced into a passive position. In his fluster, Chao Xiong barely managed to block Qian Linglong and the others' attacks, but his injuries worsened. "I was heavily injured by that brat's sneak attack just now, so I can't use my full strength. It's not good to continue fighting." Realizing that his injuries were worsening, Chao Xiong's expression tensed up and he thought of running away. With this thought in mind, Chao Xiong didn't continue fighting and immediately fled to the first floor of Shinju Palace. After him, don't forget that he escaped. Seeing Chao Xiong's actions, Mo Qingyun's expression turned cold and immediately chased after Chao Xiong. He knew very well that with Chao Xiong's methods, letting a tiger return to the mountains would cause endless trouble in the future. In order to ensure stability in the future, getting rid of him now was the safest choice. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Qian Linglong and the others immediately followed and flew to the first floor of Shinju Palace. After a while, Mo Qingyun and the others chased after Chao Xiong and arrived outside Shinju Palace. "Oomph. Today I was careless and was injured by your sneak attack, but you still can't keep me here." Looking at Mo Qingyun and the others chasing after him, Chao Xiong's expression turned cold and he spoke with hidden anger. As soon as Chao Xiong finished speaking, he sped up and flew directly in the direction of Divine Armament Valley. Chao Xiong went in the direction of Divine Armament Valley. Seeing the direction Chao Xiong fled in, Mo Qingyun's expression froze for a moment. Then a smile appeared on his face. Originally, he was prepared to go to Divine Armament Valley after obtaining the cultivation method of the Outer Realm, but he didn't expect Chao Xiong to take him there directly. This way, he could save some trouble and kill 2 birds with 1 stone. He could kill Chao Xiong while searching for a divine armament. Then, Mo Qingyun chased after Chao Xiong all the way to the entrance of Divine Armament Valley. The Divine Armament Valley wasn't very big. Rather than calling it a valley, it was more like a sword tomb. Inside the Divine Weapon Valley, there were countless weapons piled up, emitting a sharp aura. The way these weapons are placed seems to be a powerful killing formation. Mo Qingyun stood at the entrance of the Divine Weapon Valley. His gaze swept across the valley, and he immediately noticed something amiss. The weapons in Divine Armament Valley were the foundation of this killing formation. Once touched, it would trigger the formation. Everyone, be careful. There is a powerful killing formation in Divine Armament Valley. Let me observe it first before going in. Seeing Qianling Long and the others follow, Mo Qingyun's expression immediately turned serious, and he blocked their path. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Qianling Long and the others were shocked and looked into the valley with tense expressions. If not for Mo Qingyun's warning, they really wouldn't have realized that there was a hidden killing formation in Divine Armament Valley. Although Chao Xiong was slightly puzzled when he saw Mo Qingyun and the others stop, he still revealed a complacent smile and said, "Kid, why aren't you continuing the chase? Could it be that you're worried this old man has set up an ambush?" Mo Qingyun didn't care about Chao Xiong's proud words. He only smiled meaningfully and said, "It's not that I'm looking down on you, but you don't have the ability to set up an ambush in front of me." As soon as Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he slammed his palm toward the weapons in Divine Armament Valley. Chapter 2192. Mo Qingyun. Seeing the situation in the Divine Armament Valley, Chao Xiong's expression changed drastically and became flustered. He didn't expect Mo Qingyun to activate the Divine Armament Valley's formation and borrow its power to deal with him. This was precisely why Mo Qingyun was so difficult to deal with. Not only was he powerful, but he also had many powerful tricks up his sleeve. Boom, boom, boom. When Mo Qingyun activated the formation, waves of even more powerful formation energy rippled out from within the Divine Armament Valley. Soon after, the formation energy within the Divine Armament Valley became even more violent. Mo Qingyun and the others were stunned by such an unforeseen event. They were extremely surprised by this. It seemed that someone else within the Divine Armament Valley had activated the formation within the Divine Armament Valley. It had to be said that Chao Xiong was truly unlucky. When he had first entered the Divine Armament Valley, the array formation of the Divine Armament Valley had not been touched. However, as soon as Mo Qingyun touched the array formation inside, the array formation inside the Divine Armament Valley had been touched, adding fuel to the fire. Chao Xiong, it seems that even the heavens aren't helping you and are determined to let you die here. After a brief moment of shock, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and teased Chao Xiong. "Oof, you think you can kill me? You're too full of yourselves." Chao Xiong said ruthlessly and took out the bloodthirsty sky demon sword to defend against the attacks of the formation energy around him. Activating the bloodthirsty sky demon sword to defend against the attacks of the formation, Chao Xiong didn't just wait for death. He immediately charged towards the exit of the Divine Armament Valley. "Stop him. Don't let him escape the Divine Armament Valley." Seeing Chao Xiong's actions, Mo Qingyun's face darkened as he instructed Qianling Long and the others. While Mo Qingyun was instructing Qianling Long and the others, he summoned Shui Long and the others and ordered Shui Long, Yinpeng, Wenyue, immediately set up a trapping formation and seal the exit of the Divine Armament Valley. Yes. Hearing Mo Qingyun's instructions, Shui Long and the others immediately responded and began sealing the exit of the Divine Armament Valley. After instructing Shui Long and the others, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated and immediately attacked Chao Xiong. Fire of Civilization, Imperial Seal, Killing Spirit Eyes. A terrifying flame energy quickly gathered in Mo Qingyun's left eye and turned into a flame mark with a terrifying aura. Once the flame imprint was formed, it turned into a ray of light and blasted into Chao Xiong's sea of consciousness in the blink of an eye. After being hit by Mo Qingyun's soul attack, Chao Xiong immediately let out a blood-curdling scream, his consciousness momentarily dizzy. While Chao Xiong was in a daze, Qianling Long and the others' attacks landed on him one after another. Bang, bang, bang. After being attacked by Qianling Long and the others, Chao Xiong was immediately sent flying and fell back into the Divine Weapon Valley. Seeing Mo, Qingyun, and the others fighting, some of the people who came to the Divine Weapon Valley to search for treasures immediately revealed terrified expressions. What a dreadful battle's aftermath. I'm afraid the strength of these people has reached the sage, accomplished realm. That Nine Heavens profound immortal youth has so many sage realm experts by his side. His identity must be extraordinary. I seem to have seen him once in China City. The people of China Mansion were very respectful to him. From the looks of it, we can forget about getting a share of the treasures in the Divine Weapon Valley. Looking at the battle in front of them, the surrounding people were all fearful, not daring to get close to Mo Qingyun and the others. They were only ordinary sage realm experts. With their strength, offending Mo Qingyun and the others was equivalent to courting death. After discussing for a while, they left the Divine Weapon Valley and prepared to go to other places to search for treasures. The Land of Heritage was so big, there was no need for them to joke around with their lives for a relic. Seeing the crowd leave one after another, Mo Qingyun nodded in satisfaction. He was very satisfied with the situation. These people took the initiative to leave, saving him some trouble and allowing him to focus on dealing with Chao Xiong. Mo Qingyun, you want to kill me? You have to pay the price. After being attacked again by Mo Qingyun, his injuries worsened. Chao Xiong immediately roared crazily. Then, Chao Xiong quickly formed a hand seal and sent it into his body. When the hand seal entered his body, Chao Xiong spat out a large mouthful of blood essence onto the bloodthirsty sky demon sword. After merging with Chao Xiong's blood essence, the bloodthirsty sky demon sword immediately shone with a bloody light and enveloped Chao Xiong. All of you must die, Chao Xiong roared angrily. He became one with the bloodthirsty sky demon sword, and his aura suddenly skyrocketed. At the same time, the bloodthirsty sky demon sword also grew several times in size. Man and sword as one, slashing heaven and earth. Under Chao Xiong's control, the bloodthirsty sky demon sword turned into a bloody light and slashed toward Mo Qingyun and the others. The bloodthirsty sky demon sword's bloody light soared into the sky, turning into a 1,000-meter-long sword light that cut open a vacuum in the formation. I'll block Chao Xiong's attack. You guys hurry up and leave the battlefield. Seeing Chao Xiong's attack, Mo Qingyun's expression darkened, and a shocking battle intent exploded from his body. He knew very well that with the physical strength of Qianling Long and the others, they wouldn't be able to withstand the impact of this power. Fire of Civilization, Saint Demon Star Shattering Fist. Fire of Civilization, Demon Star Shattering Palm. Fire of Civilization, Heavenly Sun Star Piercing Pupil. For a moment, Mo Qingyun unleashed all his most powerful mystic abilities without holding back. Hearing Mo Qingyun's orders, Qianling Long and the others immediately retreated. As they retreated, they also used their strongest abilities to help Mo Qingyun block Chao Xiong's attack. Immediately, fist shadows, sword lights, whip lights, and other attacks all blasted toward the enormous bloody sword light. Boom, boom, boom. All the saber lights and sword shadows collided with each other, immediately producing an earth-shattering sound, shaking the entire ruins. The appearance of such a terrifying commotion caused some of the people near the Divine Weapon Valley to retreat in fear. After a loud explosion, a destructive battle storm formed in the Divine Armament Valley. As the storm of battle took shape, the offensive array of the Divine Armament Valley was completely activated. Chao Xiong, who bore the brunt of the attack, was immediately swallowed up and crazily attacked by the offensive formation. Mo Qingyun, if I don't die today, I won't let you go. Under the attack of the Divine Armament Valley's offensive formation, Chao Xiong let out a furious roar. His voice was filled with intense anger. Mo Qingyun ignored Chao Xiong's angry words. When he saw the storm of power sweeping over, he quickly retreated. However, The storm of power swept over too quickly, and Mo Qingyun was quickly swallowed up. When Mo Qingyun was swallowed up by the storm of power, Qian Linglong escaped the area of the storm, her face filled with lingering fear. Master, Qingyun, seeing Mo Qingyun being swallowed up by the storm of power, Qian Linglong and the others were filled with worry and self-blame. Chapter 2193. While Qian Linglong and the others were blaming themselves, a figure flew out of the storm and arrived in front of them. When they saw the person in front of them, Qian Linglong and the others were delighted. Mo Qingyun had come out of the storm of energy. The shock waves from the battle have injured me quite badly. I need to treat my injuries immediately. Protect me. Mo Qingyun arrived in front of Qian Linglong and the others. Then, he found a place to treat his injuries. Hearing Mo Qingyun's instructions, Qian Linglong and the others quickly followed him and focused on guarding him. Pay attention to the exit of the Divine Armament Valley. If Chao Xiong is lucky enough to escape, immediately kill him. Looking at Qian Linglong and the others beside him, Mo Qingyun gave them another instruction before returning to his cultivation. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Qian Linglong and the others assigned one person to watch the exit of the Divine Armament Valley. Following that, time passed just like that, bit by bit. After several hours, Mo Qingyun's injuries had stabilized, and he left his cultivation. When Mo Qingyun's injuries had stabilized, the storm of energy in the Divine Armament Valley had also completely calmed down. However, Chao Xiong still hadn't come out. No one knew if he had died inside or not. Mo Qingyun's figure moved and arrived at the entrance of the Divine Armament Valley. He sensed inside. Since the formation of the Divine Armament Valley had been completely activated, Mo Qingyun didn't enter. Mo Qingyun couldn't find Chao Xiong. He couldn't help but frown. Chao Xiong's corpse isn't inside. It seemed that he's still alive. He must be hiding somewhere to treat his injuries. In Mo Qingyun's opinion, if Chao Xiong had died, his corpse would definitely be near the entrance. Now that he couldn't see his corpse, it was somewhat strange. Chao Xiong might still be alive. Let's not leave for now. We'll stay here and wait. Guessing that Chao Xiong hadn't died, Mo Qingyun told everyone to stay. He then said, "Waiting here won't do. I'll teach you the 9 temples of the Sun Nebula technique. We'll cultivate here while waiting for Chao Xiong to leave the Divine Armament Valley." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Qian Linglong and the others were overjoyed. Anticipation appeared on their faces. They were looking forward to Mo Qingyun's Outer Realm technique. They wanted to see what was different about it. Then, Mo Qingyun told Qian Linglong and the others the incantation of the 9 Palace Sun Nebula technique. After telling Qian Linglong and the others the incantation of the 9 Palace Sun Nebula technique, Mo Qingyun also began to cultivate it. Under Mo Qingyun's guidance, he followed the description of the 9 temples of the Sun Nebula technique and arranged the Saint Power Star cluster in the direction of the 9 temples. After arranging the Immortal Spiritual Energy Star cluster and the Power of Creation Star cluster in the direction of the 9 temples, Mo Qingyun began to circulate the 9 temples of the Sun Nebula technique. Then, the Immortal Spiritual Energy Star cluster and the Power of Creation Star cluster in his body underwent another cleansing. Slowly, Mo Qingyun discovered that the Immortal Spiritual Energy Star cluster and the Power of Creation Star cluster contain some flame energy. This is the flame energy of the sun. Mo Qingyun's face lit up when he sensed the flame energy in the star cluster. He was excited and said, "Although this flame energy is not as strong as the fire of civilization, the power of the divine ability will increase with the support of this flame energy." Mo Qingyun had the fire of civilization. The flame energy of the sun was not very useful to him. However, it was different for Qian Linglong and the others. It would make the power of the divine ability they cast change qualitatively. A few days later, what surprised Mo Qingyun was that although the power of the sun's flames didn't have much of an effect on his strength, it still wasn't enough. However, After he cultivated the 9 temples of the Sun Nebula technique, his cultivation level increased very quickly. He reached the late 4th level of the 9 heavens Xian immortal realm. At this rate, it would not take long for him to break through to the 5th level of the 9 heavens Xian immortal realm. In that case, I will break through to the 5th level of the 9 heavens Xian immortal realm. Mo Qingyun did not hesitate when he saw his cultivation level increase. He immediately took out a large number of medicinal crystals. Mo Qingyun placed a large number of medicinal crystals around him and started to refine them like crazy. As Mo Qingyun continued to refine the medicinal crystals, the aura he exuded started to grow stronger at a rapid pace. Peak 4th level of the 9 heavens Xian immortal realm. Peak 4th level of the 9 heavens Xian immortal realm. Quasi 5th level of the 9 heavens Xian immortal realm. After an unknown period of time, Mo Qingyun's aura finally reached a new level. He successfully broke through to the 5th level of the 9 heavens Xian immortal realm. Master has broken through. Qingyun has broken through. Qian Linglong and the others stopped cultivating when they sensed the change in Mo Qingyun's aura. They were pleasantly surprised. Now that Mo Qingyun's cultivation level had broken through, Ziyun Xiao and the others would have an easier time. Mo Qingyun's cultivation level had broken through, but he did not stop cultivating. Instead, he continued to stabilize his cultivation level. In the blink of an eye, 5 days had passed. After 5 days of continuous cultivation, Mo Qingyun's cultivation level had stabilized. Seeing that his cultivation level had stabilized, Mo Qingyun did not waste any more time and prepared to continue condensing the immortal energy star cluster. Just as he was about to condense the immortal energy star cluster, a figure flew out of the Divine Armament Valley and continued to flee into the distance. That's right, the person who flew out of the Divine Armament Valley was Chao Xiong, who was hiding in the Divine Armament Valley. Chao Xiong was in a very sorry state. The arm that was injured by Mo Qingyun was completely broken. In addition, there were many other injuries on his body. His aura was also very weak. Chao Xiong, he really didn't die. Seeing the figure fly away, Mo Qingyun and the others were shocked and immediately chased after him. As Mo Qingyun chased after Chao Xiong, a look of understanding appeared on his face. He knew why Chao Xiong had come out. It seems that Chao Xiong is not having a good time hiding in the Divine Armament Valley. He's been enduring the attacks of the array. If I'm not mistaken, he ran out because he can't take it anymore. After knowing Chao Xiong's situation, Mo Qingyun looked at him like he was looking at prey. Not long after, under the pursuit of Mo Qingyun and the others, they intercepted Chao Xiong. After blocking Chao Xiong's path, a faint smile appeared at the corner of Mo Qingyun's mouth. He teased, "What are you in such a hurry for? We waited outside the Divine Armament Valley for a very long time just to welcome you out." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Chao Xiong was so angry that his face turned green. His heart was filled with grievances. "Wait my ass. You are clearly cultivating. Okay." Chapter 2194. Our strength has increased again recently. I hope you can give us some pointers again. Looking at the silent Chao Xiong, Mo Qingyun teased him. He then instructed Qian Linglong and the others, "Such a good sparring partner is not something you can meet often. Spar with him with all your might." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Qian Linglong and the others' eyes lit up. Their faces were filled with joy. Mo Qingyun wasn't lying. It was really difficult to find a sparring partner like Chao Xiong. "You want to use me as a sparring partner?" Chao Xiong exploded in anger when he heard Mo Qingyun's words. His face turned ashen. In his opinion, Mo Qingyun's words were the greatest humiliation he had ever suffered. "If you're not afraid of death, feel free to come over and give a try." In his fury, Chao Xiong roared angrily and assumed a stance of fighting for his life. A faint smile appeared on Mo Qingyun's face when he saw Chao Xiong's behavior. There was a meaningful look in his eyes. He hadn't told Qian Linglong and the others to use Chao Xiong as a sparring partner. Judging from Chao Xiong's current behavior, he clearly hadn't discovered Mo Qingyun's true intentions. Qian Linglong and the others ignored Chao Xiong's threatening behavior and charged at him together. Chao Xiong was seriously injured, while Qian Linglong and the others' cultivation bases had improved greatly. Thus, he was at a disadvantage as soon as they exchanged blows. Mo Qingyun frowned when he saw that Chao Xiong was getting beaten up and could be killed at any time. Han Liu, don't make a move yet. Let Linglong and the sky-devouring beast deal with him first. Mo Qingyun could see that if everyone attacked together, they wouldn't be able to display their full strength. This way, they wouldn't be able to train themselves while fighting with Chao Xiong. When they heard Mo Qingyun's instructions, Han Liu and the others immediately responded and retreated from the battle. After letting Han Liu and the others leave the battle, Mo Qingyun raised his guard and prepared for Chao Xiong's desperate attacks. No matter what, Chao Xiong was still a quasi-galaxy-grade powerhouse, so he was still very scary when he was driven to desperation. In order to ensure Qian Linglong's safety, it was necessary for them to take some precautions. As Han Liu and the others retreated from the battle, Chao Xiong's situation gradually turned for the better. He was now able to face off against Qian Linglong and the other two. Under such circumstances, the potential of Qian Linglong and Luo Yunyang was completely stimulated. Gradually, they were able to control their recently improved strength with ease. As Qian Linglong and Qian Linglong familiarized themselves with their battle prowess, Chao Xiong's situation changed once more. He was once again in a situation where he was beaten up. Linglong, you two step back. Let Han Liu and the others temper themselves. Mo Qingyun told Qian Linglong and Qian Linglong to get used to the battle. Then, he signaled for Han Liu and the others to fight. Under Mo Qingyun's instructions, Qian Linglong and the other two girls immediately retreated, and Han Liu and the others took their places. Mo Qingyun, you've gone too far. Seeing Mo Qingyun and the others' actions, Chao Xiong was so angry that his face immediately turned ashen. He gritted his teeth. Ever since he started cultivating, he had never been toyed with like this. He really couldn't accept this kind of thing. Mo Qingyun didn't care about Chao Xiong's anger at all. He watched the battle with an indifferent expression. Han Liu and the others joined forces, but their strength was still inferior to Qian Linglong and the other two girls. Chao Xiong actually had the upper hand. Seeing this scene, Mo Qingyun had no choice but to take out the God Shooter Bow and assist from the side. With Mo Qingyun using the God Shooter Bow, Chao Xiong's advantage immediately disappeared, and he was once again beaten up. As time passed, Chao Xiong's injuries became more and more serious, and his aura became weaker and weaker. Gradually, even if Mo Qingyun didn't help, Han Liu and the others would be able to gain the upper hand. Seeing his situation, Chao Xiong's expression turned grave. He realized that he was in a bad situation. Mo Qingyun, even if I die here today, you will pay a painful price. Chao Xiong roared out furiously and detonated his life-bound blood sword to increase his strength. As Chao Xiong detonated his blood sword, his aura immediately soared and reached the galaxy grade in the blink of an eye. He really detonated his blood sword. Seeing Chao Xiong's actions, Mo Qingyun's expression turned solemn. He wasn't surprised by this. He hadn't been in a hurry to kill Chao Xiong earlier, because he was worried that Chao Xiong would use such a move. If Chao Xiong had detonated his blood sword when he had just escaped the Divine Weapon Valley, it would have been quite terrifying. However, after this round of exhaustion, the situation was completely different. Even if he detonated his blood sword now, the threat wasn't that great. Chao Xiong, it's too late for you to detonate your blood sword. Mo Qingyun smiled faintly as he watched Chao Xiong's aura soar. He took the initiative to rush over and said, given your current state, even if you detonate your blood sword and increase your strength, how long can you maintain it? Chao Xiong was shocked when he heard Mo Qingyun's words. He realized the key point. You actually schemed against me, kid. No matter how stupid Chao Xiong was, he knew that he had been tricked when he heard Mo Qingyun's words. Just now, Mo Qingyun had asked Qianling Long and the others to use him as a sparring partner in order to deplete his battle strength. He had unknowingly fallen for Mo Qingyun's evil scheme and expended a lot of his battle strength. When Xiao Xiong realized this, the way he looked at Mo Qingyun changed drastically. Mo Qingyun's schemes were too deep. He felt that it was impossible to guard against them. Master is still the best. Every step is closely linked and impossible to guard against. Putting aside his own strength, Master's intelligence alone is enough to make his enemies tremble. Xiao Xiong, you've already decided your fate by opposing Master. To thank you for being my sparring partner, I'll give you a quick death. Knowing Mo Qingyun's intentions, Qianling Long and the others were also shocked and felt admiration for Mo Qingyun. If Mo Qingyun had said it now, they wouldn't have guessed that Mo Qingyun's arrangements were full of deeper meaning. Fire of civilization, Saint Demon Star, shattering fist. Mo Qingyun arrived in front of Xiao Xiong and threw a punch at him, erupting with an aura that could burn the sky and scorch the sun. Seeing the power of his punch, Mo Qingyun's expression immediately lit up. A brilliant smile appeared on his face. From the aura, I feel that the power of my punch has increased by at least 20%. The 9 Temples of the Sun Nebula technique is indeed powerful. As Mo Qingyun swung his fist, a huge flaming fist flew toward Xiao Xiong. Facing Mo Qingyun's punch, Xiao Xiong was shocked and his expression became tense. This kid is much stronger than before. His speed of improvement is too fast. No wonder the dark demons are in a hurry to kill him. This kind of person can't be left alive. Chapter 2195. Man and Sword as One, Cleaving Heaven and Earth. Xiao Xiong drew out the bloodthirsty sky demon sword and slashed it with 2 fingers on his right hand. Then, the bloodthirsty sky demon sword glowed brightly and released a bloody light that enveloped Xiao Xiong. Then, Xiao Xiong and the bloodthirsty sky demon sword became one, transforming into a 100-meter-long blood-red sword. After completing the man and sword as one state, Xiao Xiong charged toward Mo Qingyun and collided with the flaming fist. Boom, a loud sound was heard. Following the loud sound, a dazzling flaming light bloomed in the air like a blooming epiphyllum. As the flaming light raged, the blood-red sword and the flaming fist were locked in a stalemate in the air. Had Xiao Xiong blocked it? Qianling Long and the others were shocked when they saw the scene in the air. Anticipation appeared on their faces. If Mo Qingyun could block Xiao Xiong's sword, his combat strength would be comparable to a galaxy-grade powerhouse. Crack! 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 Under everyone's expectant gazes, cracks appeared on the flaming fist, and it started to crumble rapidly. In the blink of an eye, the flaming fist dissipated and turned into a ball of pure flame energy. Qianling Long and the others were disappointed when they saw this scene. They couldn't help but feel a little regretful. It seemed like Mo Qingyun's combat strength was still some distance away from the galaxy grade. Brat, you think you can compete with me? Die! Xiao Xiong shouted angrily after destroying the flaming fist and continued to slash at Mo Qingyun. When Xiao Xiong attacked Mo Qingyun, he discovered that there was a tiny crack on the blood-red sword light. From the looks of it, I can now pose a threat to galaxy-grade powerhouses if I use my natural mystique. Mo Qingyun smiled faintly when he saw the crack on the blood-red sword light. He was very satisfied with this result. He could be proud that he could threaten a galaxy-grade powerhouse with his cultivation at the 5th level of the 9 Heavens Xian Immortal Realm. Fire of civilization, demonic star, splitting palm. Mo Qingyun did not dare to hesitate as he looked at the blood-red sword aura that was rapidly approaching him. He immediately struck out with his palm. Then, a huge flaming palm that covered the sky flew toward the blood sword radiance. Boom, boom, boom. The flaming palm collided with the blood sword radiance, creating another earth-shattering boom and an even more terrifying shockwave. When the airwave was formed, the giant flaming palm and the blood-red sword light paused for a moment before dispersing. He blocked it. Qingyun did it. Master is too powerful. He can even block an attack from a galaxy-grade. Let's see how smug Chao Xiong is right now. Even if he has galaxy-grade strength, Master can still kill him. Seeing Mo Qingyun's performance, Han Liu and the others were overjoyed and excited smiles appeared on their faces. From the looks of it, even if Mo Qingyun's strength had not reached the galaxy realm, it should be quite close. How is this possible? Seeing Mo Qingyun block his all-out attack alone, Chao Xiong immediately cried out in shock. This was really too frightening for him. Hearing Chao Xiong's shocked words, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and said, "This is not impossible. If you were at your peak and detonated your blood sword, we would naturally not be your match. However, in your current state, you only have 30% of your peak strength. It is not strange that I was able to block it." Chao Xiong's expression immediately turned ugly when he heard Mo Qingyun's words. He also knew the reason behind this. If we continue fighting, I might really die here. Seeing that he could not do anything to Mo Qingyun even if he went all out, Chao Xiong decided to retreat. Then he turned around and fled, wanting to leave this troublesome place as soon as possible. "Humph, I didn't chase after you last time because I really thought you could always escape." Seeing that Chao Xiong was about to flee again, Mo Qingyun snorted coldly and his expression darkened. Fire of civilization, Imperial Seal, Killing Spirit Eye. As soon as Mo Qingyun finished speaking, a dazzling scarlet light flashed in his left eye. Then, an imposing flame mark blasted out from his left eye. The flame seal shot out and disappeared in a flash, instantly slamming into the bloodthirsty sky demon sword. "Ah!" Chao Xiong immediately screamed after being hit by the flame seal, and his speed of escape slowed somewhat. Seeing that, Mo Qingyun immediately chased after him and arrived in front of him in the blink of an eye. As Mo Qingyun chased after Chao Xiong, Qin Linglong and the others also caught up and blocked Chao Xiong's path. Attack! After blocking Chao Xiong's path again, Mo Qingyun didn't waste any words with him and immediately ordered everyone to attack together. Chao Xiong was already at the end of his rope. Faced with Mo Qingyun and the others' combined attacks, he was immediately in a perilous situation. Chao Xiong struggled for a while before being slashed by Mo Qingyun. His expression was one of unwillingness. "I can't accept this. I'm a great genius of the Bloodsword clan. How can I die in a lowly realm?" Before Chao Xiong could finish speaking, his aura was cut off and his life force completely vanished. Whoosh! After completely killing Chao Xiong, Mo Qingyun let out a deep breath, his expression much more relaxed. He was confident that with everyone working together, they wouldn't need to fear Chao Xiong's strength. However, Mo Qingyun didn't have much confidence in actually killing him. Chao Xiong's methods were too strong. After killing Chao Xiong, Mo Qingyun put away the corpse and prepared to give it to the seven-headed azure serpent to refine. "Qingyun, Chao Xiong has been killed. What do we do next?" Seeing that Chao Xiong had been killed, Qin Linglong went to Mo Qingyun and asked for her opinion. Mo Qingyun thought for a moment and looked at Divine Weapon Valley. Divine Weapon Valley and Shun Ju Palace are treasure lands of the same level. There should be quite a lot of treasures inside. It would be a waste to miss it. Let's go in and check it out. Qin Linglong and the others nodded with anticipation. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Qin Linglong and the others nodded with anticipation. If they found a cosmic cloud state divine weapon in the valley, their power would soar again. After informing Qin Linglong and the others, Mo Qingyun flew towards the Divine Weapon Valley and arrived at the entrance in the blink of an eye. Standing at the entrance of the Divine Weapon Valley, Mo Qingyun summoned Shualong and the others to help him break the formation. Seeing the arrival of Mo Qingyun and the others, the people at the entrance of the Divine Weapon Valley immediately left obediently. They had clearly seen the battle between Mo Qingyun and the others. They knew how terrifying Mo Qingyun and the others were. In their opinion, it was better to stay far away from someone like Mo Qingyun. Chapter 2196. Several hours later. With Mo Qingyun's group's efforts, they finally entered the Divine Weapons Valley and saw a pile of damaged weapons. From the looks of these weapons, it seemed that they had suffered great damage for some reason. From the looks of it, under the activation of the formation of the Divine Armament Valley, the power of these weapons has been exhausted. Looking at the state of the weapons, Mo Qingyun's face revealed a look of understanding, but he couldn't help feeling disappointed. He could see that the weapons in front of him were no different from scrap metal. Let's continue to break the formation. Hopefully, there are other weapons inside the Divine Weapons Valley. Glancing at the abandoned weapons, Mo Qingyun instructed everyone and continued to break the Divine Weapons Valley's formation. As Mo Qingyun's group moved forward, the Divine Weapons Valley's formation was broken bit by bit. After a few more hours, the array formations in the Divine Weapon Valley were finally all broken. At the bottom of the Divine Weapons Valley, Mo Qingyun saw corpses lying on the ground with terrified expressions. Next to their corpses were weapons with sharp auras. These were all quasi-nebula weapons. It seems like this group of people entered the Divine Weapons Valley before Chao Xiong to search for treasures. Looking at the corpses on the ground, Mo Qingyun guessed their identity and cause of death. A look of realization appeared on his face as he said, "It seems like the strengthening of the Divine Weapons Valley's formation has a lot to do with them." After figuring out some of the details, Mo Qingyun no longer thought about it and immediately searched for well-preserved weapons. As Mo Qingyun searched, a huge treasury of divine weapons appeared in his line of sight. At a glance, there were hundreds of weapons in this divine weapon treasury. Seeing these weapons in front of him, Mo Qingyun was immediately overjoyed, and his mood became excited. He hadn't expected that there would be so many divine weapons hidden inside the Divine Weapons Valley. After a brief moment of joy, Mo Qingyun put all these weapons into the Fortune Mainland. "I have collected all the weapons in the Divine Weapon Valley. Let's leave this place." After taking away all the weapons in the Divine Weapon Treasury, Mo Qingyun did not want to stay any longer and flew out of the Divine Weapon Valley. Seeing Mo Qingyun's actions, Qian Linglong and the others quickly followed and left the Divine Weapon Valley with Mo Qingyun. Coming out of the Divine Armament Valley, Mo Qingyun's brows furrowed slightly. With a hesitant expression, he said, "Almost 3 months have passed since we entered the Land of Heritage. The treasures have basically all been taken away. Even if we continue to stay, we won't be able to gain anything. It's time to leave." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Qian Linglong and the others nodded in agreement with Mo Qingyun's point of view. Seeing Qian Linglong and the others nod in agreement, Mo Qingyun immediately made a decision and said in a solemn voice, "In that case, let's leave the Land of Heritage and return to the 1,000 Illusions." As soon as Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he flew towards the exit of the Land of Heritage to return to the 1,000 Illusions. Seeing Mo Qingyun's actions, Qian Linglong and the others quickly followed and returned to the 1,000 Illusions. Half a month later, at the exit of the Land of Heritage, a group of powerful people arrived. They were none other than Mo Qingyun and the others. The fire of civilization around the Land of Heritage is very strong. If I can refine it, my strength will definitely skyrocket. Looking at the fire of civilization outside the Land of Heritage, Mo Qingyun's heart stirred, and a bold idea came to his mind. With this idea in mind, Mo Qingyun turned to look at Qian Linglong and the others and said, "You all return to the Thousand Springs City first. I want to stay here to cultivate and try to refine the fire of civilization." "Master, you want to refine the fire of civilization?" "Qingyun, the fire of civilization is very strong. Are you sure you can refine it?" "Yes. It's too dangerous to do that. Do you want to reconsider?" Hearing Mo Qingyun's idea, Qian Linglong and the others were shocked. They were frightened by Mo Qingyun's idea. To them, the fire of civilization around the Land of Heritage was too terrifying. Mo Qingyun actually wanted to refine it. One had to admit that Mo Qingyun's idea was too crazy. Compared to the shock of Qian Linglong and the others, Mo Qingyun's face was calm. He smiled faintly and said, "Don't forget that I've already successfully guided the fire of civilization into my body. Although the fire of civilization is scary, it doesn't mean that I can't refine it." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Qian Linglong and the others came to a realization. They felt that Mo Qingyun's words were true. Due to the shock and worry earlier, they had forgotten that Mo Qingyun had already guided the fire of civilization into his body. "Qingyun, you can't be careless when refining the fire of civilization. Why don't we stay behind to protect you?" After knowing Mo Qingyun's idea, Qian Linglong was still worried. She suggested to Mo Qingyun, "No need." Mo Qingyun shook his head and rejected Qian Linglong's suggestion. He said, "I'm just trying to refine the fire of civilization. I'm not cultivating in seclusion wholeheartedly. There won't be any trouble. Besides, I'm cultivating beside the fire of civilization. Who can get close to me?" Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Qian Linglong did not insist. She said to Mo Qingyun with concern, "If that's the case, we'll return to China City first. You stay behind alone and be careful." "Okay." Mo Qingyun nodded. He flew toward the fire of civilization and slowly approached it. While Mo Qingyun was flying toward the fire of civilization, Qian Linglong and the others left the land of heritage and returned to China City together. They had been in the land of heritage for more than 3 months. They did not know if anything had happened to the 1,000 illusions during this time. Although they had recovered all the branches, the dark demon race was still in the Holy Land. It was hard to guarantee that nothing would happen. It was precisely because of this that Mo Qingyun did not let them stay behind and asked them to return to the 1,000 illusions first. After a while, Mo Qingyun stopped moving forward and looked at the fire of civilization in shock. What a terrifying flame power! Although it's also the fire of civilization, the power of these flames is too strong. Standing 10,000 meters away from the fire of civilization, Mo Qingyun felt as if he was being burned by a raging fire. One had to know that the strength of his body was comparable to a high-grade sacred artifact. Even with such a terrifying body, he could not withstand the impact of the fire of civilization. One could imagine how the others felt. It was precisely because of this that Mo Qingyun was not worried that he would be harassed while cultivating here. Mo Qingyun sighed in his heart. He walked forward for a while before stopping. He thought to himself, "This is already my limit. If I continue to approach the fire of civilization, I will suffer irrecoverable injuries." Sensing his own situation, Mo Qingyun did not try to be brave. He directly sat down on the spot. Chapter 2197. Mo Qingyun knew very well that if he wanted to draw the fire of civilization into his body, he had to have a strong physical body. Otherwise, forcibly drawing the fire of civilization into his body was no different from committing suicide. Although his current physical strength was already very strong, it was still not at that level. Not to mention drawing the fire of civilization into his body, with his current physical strength, he could not even get close to the fire of civilization. The stronger the fire of civilization is, the more my strength will increase when I draw it into my body. Looking at the fire of civilization in front of him, Mo Qingyun was full of anticipation. He immediately used the power of the flames to temper his body. After drawing the power of the flames into his body, Mo Qingyun felt a sharp pain in his body. It felt as if his body was being burned by a raging fire. "Hang in there, you must hang in there." Feeling the sharp pain in his body, Mo Qingyun clenched his teeth and silently encouraged himself. At this moment, his body was like a treasured sword, enduring the tempering of the furnace fire again and again. While enduring the impact of the power of the flames, Mo Qingyun activated the Taichu creation bloodline to heal his injured body. If he did not have the Taichu creation bloodline, he would not have dared to take such a risk and use the power of the fire of civilization to temper his body. After all, The risk of tempering his body was too great. If he was not careful, his body would suffer irreparable damage. While Mo Qingyun was tempering his body with the power of the flames, he also activated the 9 temples of the Sun Nebula technique. Streams of pure immortal spiritual energy and power of creation flowed out of the 10 power star clusters and slowly flowed through his meridians. Under the operation of the immortal spiritual power and creation power, the power of the flames that Mo Qingyun drew into his body was refined by him bit by bit. As Mo Qingyun refined the power of the flames, the sun flame in the power star cluster grew significantly stronger. Refining the power of the fire of civilization can strengthen the sun flame in the power star cluster. Noticing the change in the sun flame, Mo Qingyun was immediately delighted. This was an unexpected gain. Seeing this, Mo Qingyun activated the 9 temples of the Sun Nebula technique and immediately worked even harder. As Mo Qingyun worked hard to temper his body, the sun flame in the 10 power star clusters grew at a visible speed. Time always passed very quickly during cultivation. In the blink of an eye, 3 months. After 3 months of continuous cultivation, the strength of Mo Qingyun's physical body had undergone an astonishing improvement. Now, his physical strength was comparable to a quasi-nebula divine weapon. If this were to spread out, it would definitely frighten people. A quasi-nebula divine weapon was definitely a top-notch divine weapon in the wild continent. How terrifying was it for a person's physical strength to reach such a level? In other words, there weren't many weapons on the wild continent that could harm Mo Qingyun. Compared to the improvement of his physical strength, Mo Qingyun was more happy that he had come to the fire of civilization. After 3 months of cultivation, I can finally guide the fire of civilization into my body. Looking at the fire of civilization right in front of him, Mo Qingyun showed an excited expression and a strong joy appeared on his face. If he could successfully guide the fire of civilization into his body, his strength would double, and it would be easier to deal with the dark demons. With this thought in mind, Mo Qingyun guided a wisp of the fire of civilization into his body. As the fire of civilization entered his body, Mo Qingyun immediately felt a heart-wrenching pain. Under this intense pain, he immediately clenched his teeth and let out a painful cry. Immediately, drops of sweat appeared on Mo Qingyun's forehead. Under the intense pain, Mo Qingyun's body could not help but tremble. Upon closer inspection, one could see that there were burn marks on Mo Qingyun's body. Fortunately, he had the primordial creation bloodline in his body, which could help him recover from the damage. Otherwise, under the crazy destruction of the fire of civilization, he would have been burned to ashes. Refine. Forcefully enduring the pain, Mo Qingyun activated the 9 temples of the Sun Nebula technique and tried his best to refine the fire of civilization in his body. Under Mo Qingyun's crazy refining, the damage of the fire of civilization was reduced little by little, and it merged with the original fire of civilization in his body. Success. Seeing the fusion of the 2 fires of civilization, Mo Qingyun's expression immediately became overjoyed and excited. It seemed that his previous guess was right. He could indeed refine the fire of civilization. Seeing that his attempt was successful, Mo Qingyun worked even harder to refine the fire of civilization, so that the 2 fires of civilization could merge faster. The following time passed little by little. After about a few days, under Mo Qingyun's continuous refining, the wisp of fire of civilization that he had introduced into his body was finally completely refined. After refining this wisp of fire of civilization, the power of the fire of civilization in my body has increased by at least 10%. After sensing the situation in his body, Mo Qingyun's face was filled with surprise and excitement. Seeing the results of his cultivation, Mo Qingyun did not want to waste any time and introduced another wisp of fire of civilization into his body. With the previous experience, The difficulty of refining the fire of civilization for Mo Qingyun was significantly reduced. In addition, the pain he suffered was also reduced, and the refining speed was also faster. Not long after, the fire of civilization that he had introduced into his body merged with his own fire of civilization. Next, Mo Qingyun continued to refine the fire of civilization tirelessly. In the blink of an eye, another month passed. After a month of continuous refinement, Mo Qingyun's fire of civilization was now close to 70% of the outside world. The power of my fire of civilization is now equivalent to 70% of the outside world. Seeing the power of his fire of civilization, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and said with anticipation, "At this rate, I will refine it for another month. Then the power of my fire of civilization will be exactly the same as that of the outside world." With that thought, Mo Qingyun began to move again, preparing to guide the fire of civilization into his body again. Boom! At this moment, the legacy continent suddenly trembled and violently shook. When Mo Qingyun saw the commotion in the land of heritage, he stopped cultivating and looked at it in shock. Sweeping a glance over the heritage continent, Mo Qingyun knew the reason. He guessed, judging from the current situation, such a commotion has occurred in the heritage continent. They should be leaving the wild continent. Chapter 2198. If that's the case, I'm afraid it's impossible to continue refining the fire of civilization. Mo Qingyun couldn't help but sigh as he watched the land of heritage break away bit by bit. Mo Qingyun sighed. He felt relieved and didn't take it to heart. During this period of cultivation, he had increased the power of the fire of civilization by 70%. This was already a great gain. In addition, his cultivation had also increased tremendously during this period of time. His current cultivation had reached the peak of the 5th level of the 9 heavens Xian immortal realm. He had the qualifications to break through to the 6th level of the 9 heavens Xian immortal realm. In just a few months, his cultivation had increased from the early stage of the 5th level of the 9 heavens Xian immortal realm to the peak of the 5th level of the 9 heavens Xian immortal realm. If news of this cultivation speed were to spread, it would probably scare many people to death. Since I can't refine the fire of civilization, I can only return to the 1,000 illusions. Mo Qingyun didn't want to stay any longer and immediately rushed back to the 1,000 illusions. It had been more than 4 months since Qianling Long and the others returned. He wondered how they were doing. If I meet Chao Xiong now, it should be much easier to deal with him. On the way back to the 1,000 illusions, Mo Qingyun sensed his own strength and thought silently. He was confident that if he met Chao Xiong now, he would definitely be able to kill him. About half a day later, Mo Qingyun flew at full speed and arrived at the China residence. He immediately went to look for Qianling Long and the others. What surprised Mo Qingyun was that he didn't find Qianling Long and the others after sensing the entire China city. Could it be that Ling Long and the others are in danger? Mo Qingyun's expression immediately tensed up when he didn't find Qianling Long and the others. He couldn't help but worry for them. Qianling Long and the others weren't in the China residence. Perhaps the Dark Devil race had attacked and captured them. With such worries in mind, Mo Qingyun immediately went to find Qian Xiang and asked about Qianling Long and the others. "Master, you don't have to worry. The Saintess and the others are not in danger." Hearing Mo Qingyun's question, he immediately comforted Mo Qingyun and said, 3 months ago, the Saintess discovered that the Dark Devil race had completely retreated. She then brought the seniors to the main clan and successfully reclaimed the main clan. They then stayed in the main clan's sacred ground. The dark demons have all retreated. Hearing Qian Xiang's account, Mo Qingyun immediately looked surprised. He was very surprised by this news. In his opinion, there was no reason for the dark demon race to retreat before the two sides clashed. At this moment, Mo Qingyun was extremely puzzled by the Dark Devil race's actions. This Zi Yunxiao is indeed cautious. It will not be easy to deal with him. After learning that Zi Yunxiao and the others had left, Mo Qingyun's brows furrowed tightly. His mood could not help but become heavy. Right now, he was worried that Zi Yunxiao would be hunted down by him, so he had been hiding in the main branch of the Dark Devil race. Although his current strength had greatly improved, it was still unrealistic for him to charge into the Dark Devil race's lair and kill Zi Yunxiao. Understand, I will make a trip to the main clan now. After learning about the situation of Qianling Long and the others, Mo Qingyun was unwilling to stay any longer. He immediately headed to the sacred land of 1,000 illusions. Zi Yunxiao's actions gave him a feeling that it was a little too abnormal. Without seeing Qianling Long and the others, he could not relax for even a moment. He was worried that this was Zi Yunxiao's scheme. After leaving the Qina residence, Mo Qingyun took out the flying boat and controlled it to rush to the sacred land of 1,000 illusions. With Mo Qingyun controlling the flying boat, it only took him half a day to arrive at the sacred land of 1,000 illusions. When Mo Qingyun arrived at the sacred land of 1,000 illusions, Qianling Long and the others sensed him and came out to welcome him. Seeing Qianling Long and the others coming to welcome him, Mo Qingyun's face immediately lit up with joy. The worry in his heart was completely relieved. Then, Mo Qingyun's figure flashed and flew out of the flying boat. "Qingyun, you are back. Master, have you successfully refined the fire of civilization?" Everyone came to Mo Qingyun's side with a concerned expression and asked Mo Qingyun one after another. Hearing everyone's questions, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and nodded. He said, "I have successfully refined a part of it. Since the continent of heritage outside the realm left, I had to give up on refining it." "You really did it. I knew that Master would definitely succeed." "If that's the case, Master's strength has greatly increased again." Hearing Mo Qingyun's answer, Qianling Long and the others were overjoyed and excited. It was obvious that they were really happy for Mo Qingyun and were delighted by this news. "Qingyun, let's not stand here and chat. Let's go inside and have a seat." After exchanging a few pleasantries with Mo Qingyun, Qianling Long pointed to the Sacred Land's main hall and led Mo Qingyun in. After a while, Mo Qingyun and the others gathered in the Sacred Land's main hall. Their faces were filled with joy. Originally, everyone thought that it would be extremely difficult to reclaim the main clan. They did not expect it to be so easy. This was an unexpected gain for everyone. Zi Yunxiao's actions are too abnormal. Everyone should not let down their guard. This might be his scheme. Looking at the people in the main hall, Mo Qingyun reminded them. He then turned to look at Qianling Long and asked, "Ling Long, 1,000 illusions has been completely reclaimed. What are your plans next?" Hearing Mo Qingyun's question, Qianling Long's face immediately turned red. She displayed a shy expression and said, "I plan to reorganize the main clan. Then, I will choose a holy maiden and let her take over my position." At this point, Qianling Long paused for a moment. Her pretty face was slightly red as she looked at Mo Qingyun and said, "At that time, I will leave with you and stay by your side at all times." Hearing Qianling Long's words, Mo Qingyun was stunned at first. Then, a smile appeared on his face. Naturally, he would not object to Qianling Long's actions. After knowing Qianling Long's plan, Mo Qingyun thought for a while and said, "If that's the case, I will stay here for a while. Then, I will return to the Heavenly Soul Demon Clan. Firstly, I will wait for you to arrange things. Secondly, I will prevent Zi Yunxiao from coming back." Hearing Mo Qingyun's plan, Qianling Long was immediately delighted. A beautiful smile appeared on her face. After that, everyone chatted for a while. Qianling Long stood up and said, "Qingyun, you must have had a hard time rushing here. I will arrange a place for you to stay now." "All right." Hearing Qianling Long's arrangement, Mo Qingyun immediately nodded and left the main hall with her. After a while, Mo Qingyun arrived at a quiet courtyard with Qianling Long leading the way. Chapter 2199. Since I'm not going back to the heavenly soul devil clan now, I'll make use of this time to break through to the 6th level of the 9 heavens Xian immortal realm. When Mo Qingyun walked into the room, he had a plan. He decided to improve his cultivation level. Then, Mo Qingyun took out a large number of medicinal crystals and placed them around his body. He began to refine them. Under Mo Qingyun's refinement, strands of pure medicinal energy were extracted from the medicinal crystals. After the medicinal energy was extracted, Mo Qingyun absorbed it into his body to refine and absorb it. As Mo Qingyun refined the medicinal energy, the aura he emitted began to rise little by little. In the blink of an eye, several days passed. Under Mo Qingyun's crazy refining and absorption, the aura he emitted finally reached a peak. Sensing his own situation, Mo Qingyun's expression immediately turned serious. He began to condense his immortal spiritual energy. Under Mo Qingyun's refinement, the strength of the immortal spiritual power in his body immediately increased significantly. After condensing his immortal spiritual energy to the peak, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated and immediately broke through to the 6th level of the 9 heavens Xian immortal realm. Boom! A shocking aura burst out from Mo Qingyun's body and spread out in all directions. When this aura burst out, Mo Qingyun's aura reached a whole new level. His cultivation had broken through to the 6th level of the 9 heavens Xian immortal realm. After breaking through to the 6th level of the 9 heavens Xian immortal realm, Mo Qingyun didn't stop there. He continued to stabilize his cultivation. Pure medicinal spiritual energy was extracted from the medicinal crystal and absorbed into Mo Qingyun's body. After absorbing the medicinal energy into his body, Mo Qingyun frantically refined it and stabilized his cultivation. Soon, another 3 days passed. After 3 days of continuous cultivation, Mo Qingyun had completely stabilized the realm he had just broken through. After stabilizing his cultivation, Mo Qingyun revealed a pondering expression as he considered what to do next. Since I'm free now, let's take a look at what we've gained from the Legacy Continent. A thought flashed through Mo Qingyun's mind, and he took out all the things he had obtained from the Fortune mainland. One by one, sharp weapons and materials surrounded by spiritual energy appeared in front of Mo Qingyun. After taking these things out, Mo Qingyun immediately counted them and categorized them one by one. The first thing Mo Qingyun checked were some materials for setting up formations. He divided them into different grades. About an hour later, Mo Qingyun stopped what he was doing and a surprised smile appeared on his face. I didn't think that the amount of materials we obtained this time would be so astonishing. Mo Qingyun exclaimed in surprise after she finished counting the materials for the formation. She found it a little inconceivable. He did not expect that the materials he had obtained this time would be enough to set up dozens of Saint Great Arrays. More importantly, among the Saint Great Array formations that could be set up, there were a few high-grade Saint Great Array formations. The amount of materials surprised me. I hope the alchemy materials won't disappoint me. After checking the materials, Mo Qingyun looked expectantly at the pile of alchemy materials. Then, Mo Qingyun sorted the alchemy materials in front of him in the same way. After a round of checking, Mo Qingyun's face lit up with joy, his excitement rising. The amount of alchemy materials was actually more than the materials for setting up formations, enough to refine more than 100 batches of Saint Grade pellets. If this kind of harvest were spread out, it would definitely shock many people. Under normal circumstances, it was very difficult to gather enough alchemy materials to refine a batch of Saint Grade pellets. Not to mention, to refine more than 100 batches of Saint Grade pellets. This was simply impossible. After sorting out the alchemy and formation materials, the remaining materials were mainly smithing materials. Oh right, with these smithing materials, I can strengthen the 81 ancient swords. Looking at the materials in front of him, Mo Qingyun's heart stirred. He had a clear plan. With this thought in mind, Mo Qingyun began to take a careful inventory of the crafting materials. What surprised Mo Qingyun was that the amount of smithing materials couldn't be compared to the amount of alchemy and formation materials. Sigh. It seems that it's impossible to strengthen the 81 ancient swords. After checking the smithing materials, Mo Qingyun couldn't help but sigh, feeling a little regretful. Mo Qingyun sighed and stopped thinking about it. He looked at the weapons he got from the Divine Weapon Valley. The last thing to check is the weapons I got from the Divine Weapon Valley. Looking at the weapons he got from the Divine Weapon Valley, Mo Qingyun's face tensed up with anticipation. He roughly sensed that there were many quasi-nebula grade weapons among the weapons he got from the Divine Weapon Valley. 3 Cosmic Cloud State weapons, 139 Quasi-Cosmic Cloud State weapons, and 382 Extreme Grade Saint weapons. After sorting out all the weapons, Mo Qingyun's heartbeat quickened to the extreme. This kind of wealth was simply too frightening. Even with his mentality, he couldn't help but tremble in the face of such wealth. Just as Mo Qingyun was feeling excited, a thought suddenly flashed through his mind. He looked at the long sword among the weapons. I can't use the 81 ancient swords. There are quite a lot of long swords here. Perhaps I can use them as a replacement. With this thought, Mo Qingyun didn't hesitate and immediately picked out the long swords from the pile. Soon, the 81 long swords were picked out by Mo Qingyun. Among the 81 long swords, 1 was a Cosmic Cloud State weapon, 27 Quasi-Cosmic Cloud State weapons, and 53 Extreme Grade Saint weapons. The 81 ancient swords are only quasi-saint weapons. The difference between them and these long swords is too great. Looking at the swords before him, Mo Qingyun immediately became excited. He felt a strong sense of anticipation. If I can refine these weapons, then when I use the 99 Heavenly Demon Godslayer sword formation, its power should increase by a terrifying amount. With this thought, Mo Qingyun didn't waste time and immediately started refining these weapons. The first one Mo Qingyun refined was the only Cosmic Cloud State weapon. It was a huge sword called Ju Lightning Fire Sword. As soon as the Ju Lightning Fire Sword entered his hand, it emitted a terrifying heat wave and shocking lightning power wave. After observing the Ju Lightning Fire Sword, Mo Qingyun released an immortal spirit force and seeped it into the sword. What shocked Mo Qingyun was that as soon as the immortal spirit force seeped in, the Ju Lightning Fire Sword attacked him. A terrifying lightning power erupted from the Ju Lightning Fire Sword and charged into his sea of consciousness. Chapter 2200. What a powerful sword! After suppressing the Ju Thunderfire Sword's attack, Mo Qingyun's face was filled with shock. At the same time, he was pleasantly surprised. The stronger the Ju Thunderfire Sword was, the more powerful the 99 Heavenly Devil God Slaughtering Sword formation would be after refining it. Because the Ju Lightning Fire Sword was a Cosmic Cloud grade weapon, Mo Qingyun's refining speed was a little too slow. However, Mo Qingyun didn't take it to heart. The harder it was to refine the sword, the more powerful it would be. It's indeed a Cosmic Cloud State weapon. I'm looking forward to it more and more. Seeing the sword's performance, Mo Qingyun couldn't help but sigh. The joy in his heart was even stronger. With this thought in mind, Mo Qingyun abandoned all distracting thoughts and wholeheartedly devoted himself to the refining process. 10 days later, under Mo Qingyun's tireless refinement, the giant Ju Thunderfire Sword was finally completely refined. After successfully refining the Ju Thunderfire Sword, Mo Qingyun's movements didn't stop as he picked up a thin cyan sword to refine. Next, Mo Qingyun patiently refined one powerful weapon after another. In the blink of an eye, 3 months passed. After 3 months, Mo Qingyun finally refined all 81 long swords. Mo Qingyun revealed a look of ecstasy when he saw that all 81 swords had been refined. He muttered to himself, "With my current strength and these 81 swords, even if I encounter the Dark Devil race's remnant spirit, I should be able to deal with it for a while." Mo Qingyun thought for a while and put away the 81 long swords. He was thinking about what to do next. Although my cultivation level has successfully broken through, the Saint Power Star cluster hasn't been condensed yet. I should condense it now. Thinking about that, Mo Qingyun didn't waste any more time and immediately started to condense the Saint Power Star cluster. Since he had obtained the 9 Temples of the Sun Nebula technique, Mo Qingyun didn't use the power of the Gate of Fortune to condense the Saint Power Star cluster. After all, using the power of the Gate of Fortune to condense the Saint Power Star cluster could only be considered an opportunistic method. For the sake of the future, this obviously couldn't be done. After a long time, there would definitely be hidden dangers. After some time, Qian Linglong's voice came from outside the house. Qingyun, I've prepared everything. We can set off at any time. Hearing Qian Linglong's voice, Mo Qingyun stopped cultivating and immediately got up to open the door. After that, Qian Linglong walked in from outside, and she revealed a surprised expression as she looked at Mo Qingyun and said, Qingyun, your cultivation has broken through to the 6th level of the 9 Heavens' mysterious immortal realm. Qian Linglong clearly remembered that a few months ago, Mo Qingyun had broken through to the 5th level of the 9 Heavens' Xian immortal realm. In just a few months, Mo Qingyun's cultivation level had increased by another level. This speed of improvement was too fast. I just broke through recently. In response to Qian Linglong's question, Mo Qingyun didn't hide it and immediately nodded in agreement. After chatting with Qian Linglong for a while, Mo Qingyun changed the topic and said, Since you're ready, let's not waste any more time and head to the Heavenly Soul Devil clan immediately. It had been more than 10 years since he left the Heavenly Soul Devil clan. Mo Qingyun missed the Burning Sword Divine Craftsman and the others. When he first entered the Heavenly Soul Devil clan, the help of the Burning Sword Divine Craftsman was indispensable for him to be able to stand firm so quickly. After instructing Qian Linglong, Mo Qingyun walked out of the room and went to gather the King Devourer and the others. Seeing Mo Qingyun walk out of the room, Qian Linglong quickly followed and left the courtyard with Mo Qingyun. After a while, under Mo Qingyun's summons, the King Devourer and the others gathered. Let's set off. After gathering the King Devourer and the others, Mo Qingyun took out the flying ship and nodded to everyone. Then, Mo Qingyun and the others boarded the flying ship and rushed towards the Heavenly Soul Devil clan. Linglong, you control the flying ship. I'll make a trip to the Fortune mainland. On the way to the Heavenly Soul Devil clan, Mo Qingyun instructed Qian Linglong and entered the Fortune mainland. Due to some delays, he hadn't imparted the 9 Temples of the Sun Nebula technique to Yu Dihai and the others on the Fortune mainland. After arriving on the Fortune mainland, Mo Qingyun directly went to the Fortune Immortal Palace and quickly found Yu Dihai and the others. After finding Yu Dihai and the others, Mo Qingyun didn't chat with them and directly imparted the 9 Temples of the Sun Nebula technique to them. Master, what kind of cultivation technique is this? It's much more powerful than what I've cultivated before. I feel that if I cultivate according to this cultivation technique, my strength will increase by at least 1-fold. It's not just 1-fold. In my opinion, it might even increase by 10 folds. After receiving the 9 Temples of the Sun Nebula technique, Yu Dihai and the others were shocked. This kind of cultivation technique was too powerful for them. This is a cultivation technique for the Nebula realm. Looking at the shocked faces of Yu Dihai and the others, Mo Qingyun simply explained and said, if you cultivate according to the 9 Temples of the Sun Nebula technique, there is hope for your cultivation to break through the true Saint realm and enter the higher Nebula realm. Nebula realm, I didn't expect the legends to be true. When the girls saw Mo Qingyun approaching, they immediately revealed pleasantly surprised smiles, as if they had found their backbone. Seeing Yu Wuyo and the other girls' expressions, Mo Qingyun smiled at them and comforted them. Don't worry, Zishu will be fine. I'll go in and take a look first. Yes. Under Mo Qingyun's comfort, the girls nodded, but their expressions were still filled with worry. After comforting Yu Wuyo and the other girls, Mo Qingyun did not waste any more time and immediately walked into Wang Zishu's courtyard. As soon as he walked into Wang Zishu's courtyard, Mo Qingyun sensed a terrifying aura that could destroy the world. This is the aura of the Saint Power Star Cluster. Sensing the fluctuation of the aura, Mo Qingyun's heart skipped a beat, and his eyes were filled with shock. He knew very well that the aura that Wang Zishu was emitting now was the unique aura of the Saint Power Star Cluster. At this moment, Mo Qingyun finally understood why Yi Wuyo and the others could not get close to Wang Zishu under her aura. After realizing this, Mo Qingyun became even more nervous and worried about Wang Zishu's situation. Condensing the Saint Power Star Cluster was not a small matter. Wang Zishu's current behavior clearly indicated that there was a problem with condensing the Saint Power Star Cluster. Zishu's aura is very unstable. It should be because of the Saint Power Star Cluster that the Saint Power in her body is lacking. After knowing Wang Zishu's situation, Mo Qingyun immediately pushed open the door and prepared to help Wang Zishu. After entering Wang Zishu's room, Mo Qingyun saw that her face was slightly pale and her forehead was covered with sweat. Seeing Wang Zishu's situation, Mo Qingyun immediately waved his arm and took out a large number of medicinal crystals and piled them around. After taking out the medicinal crystals, Mo Qingyun did not hesitate at all and immediately sat down cross-legged. Refine. Under Mo Qingyun's violent refining, wisps of pure medicinal spiritual power were extracted from the medicinal crystals. After extracting the medicinal spiritual power, Mo Qingyun channeled it into Wang Zishu's body to restore Wang Zishu's lack of same power. While Mo Qingyun channeled the medicinal spiritual power, he also channeled a part of the power of creation into Wang Zishu's body. With the replenishment of the two forces, the saint power in Wang Zishu's body was immediately replenished. Immediately, Wang Zishu's breathing stabilized and her face regained some color. Zishu's cultivation technique doesn't seem to be complete. Her awakened memories should not be complete. After channeling the two forces into Wang Zishu's body, Mo Qingyun immediately had a clear understanding of her cultivation situation. In that case, Wang Zishu's situation just now was very dangerous. If it was not for Mo Qingyun's timely intervention, she would have been seriously injured at best. In the worst case, her meridians would have been damaged and she would have died. Phew! Seeing that Wang Zishu's breathing had stabilized, Mo Qingyun was relieved and no longer channeled the medicinal spiritual power and the power of creation into her. Now, Wang Zishu could refine the medicinal crystals on her own and replenish the lack of saint power in her body. Although he no longer channeled energy into Wang Zishu, Mo Qingyun did not leave and continued to guard Wang Zishu. Although Wang Zishu was now out of danger, she was still hiding something. He stayed to help in time. A few hours later, under Mo Qingyun's wholehearted protection, Wang Zishu's cultivation had successfully made a breakthrough and entered the saint stage. With a breakthrough in her cultivation, Wang Zishu stopped cultivating and looked at Mo Qingyun gratefully. "How are you doing?" Seeing that Wang Zishu had stopped cultivating, Mo Qingyun showed a concerned expression and immediately asked her. Hearing Mo Qingyun's concern, Wang Zishu immediately shook her head and said, "I'm fine now. I just need to stabilize my cultivation." "That's good." Hearing Wang Zishu's words, Mo Qingyun's expression immediately relaxed, and he was completely relieved. "Qingyun, it's lucky that you came in time. Otherwise, I'm afraid I won't be able to see you again." Thinking of the dangerous situation just now, Wang Zishu showed a fearful expression and her pretty face turned pale again. Seeing Wang Zishu's reaction, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly at her and said, "Don't think too much. You just made a breakthrough in your cultivation. Don't worry and stabilize your cultivation. I'll go out and tell them that you're safe." Chapter 2202. The cultivation technique in Zishu's mind can condense the Saint Power Star cluster. She should be from the outer realm. Recalling Wang Zishu's performance just now, Mo Qingyun had a clear understanding of her true origin. The cultivation techniques on the wild continent could not condense the Saint Power Star cluster. This was the best explanation. Qingyun, how is Zishu? Seeing Mo Qingyun walk out of the room, Yi Wuyo and the other girls immediately went up to him and asked about Wang Zishu. Hearing the girls' questions, Mo Qingyun shook his head at them and comforted them. Don't worry, Zishu just ran into trouble in her cultivation. She's fine now. Phew. Under Mo Qingyun's comforting words, the women all took a deep breath, and their expressions became much more relaxed. After comforting the girls, Mo Qingyun waved his hand at them and said, "You can all go now. Don't worry about Zishu. You've been guarding here for the past few days. It's been hard on you." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Yi Wuyo and the other girls left. They had been guarding outside Wang Zishu's courtyard for the past few days and were indeed a little tired. Previously, they had been nervous and this feeling was not strong. Now that they knew Wang Zishu was fine, they naturally felt tired. After Yi Wuyo and the others left, Mo Qingyun did not stay and immediately returned to his residence. When I return to the Heavenly Soul Demon Clan and settle the matter with the Tongue family, it's time to build the Palace of Creation. When Mo Qingyun returned to his room, he remembered Qing Yun's words. Let the juniors in Qing Yun Valley gain experience. After thinking about what to do next, Mo Qingyun immersed himself in cultivation and continued to improve his cultivation. With his relationship with the Dark Demon Clan, if he built the Palace of Creation, he would definitely be attacked by the Dark Demon Clan. If he did not have powerful strength, he would not be able to protect the Palace of Creation and be annihilated by the Dark Demon Clan. In the blink of an eye, 3 days had passed. Qingyun, Zishu has finished her closed-door training. While Mo Qingyun was cultivating, a surprise voice came from outside his room. Hearing the voice outside, Mo Qingyun's expression immediately lit up, and he exited his cultivation. Then, Mo Qingyun opened the door and walked out of the room. Seeing Mo Qingyun walk out of the room, Yi Wuyo and the other girls immediately gathered around Mo Qingyun and started chattering. It was obvious that they were happy for Wang Zishu when they learned that she was fine. Let's talk inside. Looking at Yi Wuyo and the other girls, Mo Qingyun greeted them and brought them into the room. The girls sat down in the room and looked at Wang Zishu. It seemed that Wang Zishu had something to say. Under everyone's gaze, Wang Zishu sorted out her emotions and said, "Qingyun, during this closed-door cultivation, my memories have completely awakened. I know my true identity." Mo Qingyun was not surprised by Wang Zishu's words and nodded calmly. Under Mo Qingyun's encouraging gaze, Wang Zishu paused and continued. "Actually, my true identity is the princess of the two-star Plains Divine Wood race. Due to the betrayal of the subsidiary race, the Fire Ghost Wolf race, and the massacre of our entire royal bloodline, I was lucky enough to return here again under my father's secret technique. So that's how it is." Hearing Wang Zishu's words, Mo Qingyun was immediately shocked, and his expression became solemn. He did not expect that Wang Zishu's true identity was actually the princess of a two-star plane. In Mo Qingyun's understanding, the wasteland continent was not even considered a one-star plane. It could be seen how powerful a two-star plane was. If nothing went wrong, the strength of the most powerful existence in a two-star plane should have reached the galaxy realm. Even if Mo Qingyun used all his trump cards, his strength was only barely comparable to the early-stage nebula realm. The distance from the galaxy realm was like heaven and earth. While Mo Qingyun was shocked, Wang Zishu's expression became more serious as she said, "Recently, I've been having an uneasy feeling. I vaguely feel that the people of the Fire Ghost Wolf race seem to have discovered that I reincarnated in the wasteland continent. Soon, they will come here to kill me." Hearing Wang Zishu's words, the expressions of Yi Wuyo and the others immediately became solemn. Wang Zishu had not mentioned this when she had been talking to them earlier. Don't worry. As long as they come to the wasteland continent, I will definitely make sure they don't return. After hearing Wang Zishu's words, Emo Qingyun immediately comforted her with a resolute expression. When I leave the wasteland continent in the future, I will accompany you to the two-star divine wood plain and slaughter the fire ghost wolf race to avenge you. Although Emo Qingyun knew very well that the fire ghost wolf race was very powerful, he was not afraid in the slightest. After all, he was only at the golden celestial stage back then. The Tongue lineage was also very powerful in his eyes. Emo Qingyun believed in his heart that as long as he was given enough strength, he would definitely be able to slaughter the fire ghost wolf race. Thank you, Qingyun. Hearing Emo Qingyun's words, Wang Zishu's face immediately lit up with joy. She immediately thanked Emo Qingyun. With Emo Qingyun's words, she felt relieved. After thanking Emo Qingyun, Wang Zishu's expression changed. She said, Qingyun, my cultivation has already reached the saint stage. I should be able to help you a little. Is there anything you need me to do? Hearing Wang Zishu's words, the expressions of Yu Wuyo and the others changed. If you can survive 3 moves from me, I'll spare your life. Teng Xiao raised his head proudly after hearing Teng Zhang's flattery. His gaze towards Emo Qingyun was even more disdainful. In his opinion, no matter how powerful Emo Qingyun was, it was useless in the face of absolute strength. Teng Xiao, so many years have passed, yet you still haven't improved at all. When he saw Teng Xiao's actions, Emo Qingyun puckered his lips with disdain and said, merely possessing cultivation is useless. Strength isn't just dependent on one's cultivation. Could it be that you've forgotten that your cultivation was higher than mine all those years ago, yet you were still crushed by me? You. When he heard Emo Qingyun, Teng Xiao's face immediately darkened, and his body trembled with rage. All those years ago, he was domineeringly defeated by Emo Qingyun, and it became the greatest stain in his life. Oof. Teng Xiao shouted coldly and forcefully restrained the rage in his heart. And then he said, it's useless to speak nonsense. If you have the ability, then fight me and let everyone know who's the #1 genius of the Heaven Soul Devil race. I originally didn't intend to bully you, but since you've repeatedly asked for a beating, then I can only fulfill your wish. When he saw Teng Xiao's request, Emo Qingyun shook his head helplessly and accepted Teng Xiao's challenge. With an indifferent expression, he said, I've given you the chance to attack. Now it's my turn. I hope you can take one of my attacks. After Emo Qingyun finished speaking, he casually threw a palm at Teng Xiao, and an even more powerful aura erupted. Then, a huge black palm shadow condensed above Teng Xiao's head. After the huge black palm was formed, it pressed down on Teng Xiao with the force of Mount Tai. Big brother, Teng Xiao, be careful. This guy is so powerful. Seeing Emo Qingyun's attack, Teng Jiang and the rest were shocked. While Teng Jiang and the rest were still in shock, the Saint Stage experts immediately charged toward Teng Xiao. Unfortunately, this palm of Emo Qingyun's was too fast and too sudden. Moreover, they did not pay attention to it previously, and it was too late to stop it now. Boom! A loud sound was heard. Following the loud noise, the entire ground shook, setting off a violent cloud of dust. The cloud of dust swept up and engulfed Teng Xiao, making it impossible for others to see his situation clearly. Seeing such a scene, Teng Jiang and the rest were shocked and looked at the cloud of dust nervously. Although Teng Jiang and the rest were shocked and furious, they did not dare to attack Mo Qingyun. Apparently, they were afraid of Mo Qingyun's strength. Mo Qingyun stood calmly on the spot after he had thrown a palm at Teng Xiao. He was not in a hurry to deal with Teng Jiang and the rest. With Teng Jiang and the rest's strength, it was impossible for them to escape from his hands. After a while, the cloud of dust slowly dissipated and Teng Xiao's figure was revealed. At this moment, Teng Xiao's clothes were ragged and his hair was disheveled. There was also a trace of blood at the corner of his mouth. He looked no different from a prisoner on death row who was about to be executed. "I've underestimated you. You're still alive." Looking at Teng Xiao's sorry state, Mo Qingyun's lips curled into a faint smile as he teased him. Mo Qingyun was not surprised that Teng Xiao was still alive because he had held back. "Mo Qingyun, I'm going to kill you." Teng Xiao shouted angrily when he heard Mo Qingyun's mocking words. His eyes turned red as he roared. "Even if I have to give up the opportunity to advance to the Saint Realm, I'm going to tear you into pieces today and let you know the consequences of offending me." Teng Xiao shouted angrily and detonated the Saint Power Star cluster in his body to increase his combat strength. Seeing Teng Xiao's actions, the few Saint Realm experts at the side immediately looked nervous. Then, the few of them wanted to intervene and stop Teng Xiao from doing such a foolish thing. In their opinion, it was not worth it for Teng Xiao to make such a sacrifice in order to duel with Mo Qingyun. However, before they could make a move, they sensed several terrifying auras pressing down on them.